Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Bergen Riley closes it out, and the Huskers finish a perfect conference season, 20-0.
Lateef Brown past the 30-yard line. Lateef Brown trying to go the distance, and that's exactly what Brown does. What an answer by the Spartans. A 92-yard kickoff return for a touchdown.
Needing a touchdown, extra point to tie, and backed up, and that's tipped, and now it's pass. It's that man again, Miles Scott.
Bryce Underwood, and it's intercepted. Davison knows it. And that'll do it.
1st and 10, Husker 29, trips right. Shotgun snap, zone read handoff. Johnson swerves to the outside right, 30, 35, accelerate to the outside across midfield. There goes Johnson, 35, 30, 25, 20, foot race 10. Johnson stumbles, dives, touchdown, Huskers! 71 beautiful yards.
But if I'm a fan right now, I'm walking away. I'm mad. So I can't. I'm walking away mad. I'm not saying I'm walking off the field. You know, some people are supporters. Like, good for them. Like they're passionate about this place. I love being the head coach of University of Nebraska. I love being in Nebraska because people are passionate about this. So I don't want my message to be anything other than, I don't want it to be hope and all. It's like, yeah, it wasn't good enough, man. But if I start going on positives, it's like, all right, Matt, you know. But I think today just has to be that. Please don't be like super toxic at the players, because I want them to just put it on me. Like, I'm in charge of this, you know. Like, Troy and them, they extended me, like they believe in what we're doing, and then all of a sudden we come down the stretch, we lose these last two games. I'm pissed off at myself.
Good morning, welcome in Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We are back here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. What's up, DB?
What is going on?
Oh, what is going on?
Is that like a neti pot, or is that a steamer for wrinkled clothes?
I think it's a steamer for wrinkled clothes. That's what it looks like.
Why is it in here?
You've come to the end of my knowledge on this question.
Your Afghan doesn't get wrinkles, does it?
It's a nice little fleece. Trying to stay warm. It's cold outside.
Well,
no, this one doesn't really get wrinkles. It's kind of, I'm not sure you could tell if it did, but
it was in here for one of the shows that was live while you guys weren't here.
You were looking. They apparently
they had
need internet, huh?
They had a backdrop.
Oh, okay. And they wanted the backdrop to be wrinkle free.
Yes,
that makes sense.
Makes sense.
Oh, was that the Supernovas thing, Shane?
That is correct.
Oh, gotcha. All right.
Supernova.
They had a little draft up in here.
Yeah, this is a crazy. Not even a crazy, just a reflectionary.
Yeah, how was your weekend?
It's quiet, man. I didn't drive my car for 48 hours.
Yeah?
Yeah, like
all day Saturday, all day Sunday?
Yep. So, it was interesting. You know, Friday was what it was, and we'll get to that long day. Saturday, just kind of managing. I got I have a former player who is facing some serious charges of a double murder, potentially, and I've coached him all the way since Little League.
Yeah.
So, obviously it's tough. You don't choose to fall in love with kids, right? So then I had, just on a humbug, another old player, just older than the other player I'm talking about, text yesterday and brought his little 5-year-old over.
Oh yeah.
So he's like one of the, so he's in that Marquise Siegel, Fairgood Jones. Like, there's this group that would always be at my house. Like, always, for all the years when I was in North. And Keith Siegel's coming back because San Francisco's on bye.
Mm-hmm.
So he's coming by to see me. But that they watched Caleb when he was super young, and so it's just it was a very reflectionary weekend. Yeah, some tough questions, man. A lot of soul searching across the board. Talked to the head coach for a long time. Like it's frustrating too because I have to manage my own emotions.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like it's what I signed up for, and I'm super competitive. So I have to stay in the moment too.
It's hard though.
It's unbelievably hard, and
harder for you than most given your situation.
Yeah, and and whatever we go through is the first time, right? There were serious expectations, I think, going into this past week, and it didn't happen. And when he says, and he didn't tell me, like he told Jay, who of course, is messaging like crazy. Like when you can't talk about the game with your own kid, that's tough.
Yeah.
But you didn't want to hear it.
Sure.
So like those kinds of things are things like you don't anticipate.
Because I'm sure you want to talk through it.
Yeah. And it just creates, it can, if you don't handle it right, it can create conflict across the board.
Sure.
Right. It's like, because you get the bodyguard that wants to be protective. And then I'm like, well, I'm not going to say anything anyway. What's the big deal? And then, so it just, it is very, then on top of that, you're losing to, a rival. You got a lot of guys with a lot of opinions. And I'm like, do you guys just like profiting off of chaos? Or are you like being serious right now? So that you have to manage that.
Yeah.
I don't have to, right? Like I can
you
choose
feel like
not
you have to.
I can choose not to. And so it was just one of those, it was a crazy weekend. Unfortunately, I cheer for Josh Allen, even though he's a Bill.
Yeah, and
I like James
Steelers.
Cook, who I always talk about.
It's tough.
They hammer the Steelers, but we got volleyball.
Volleyball team's pretty good.
Wrestling's gonna get healthy here pretty soon.
Yeah,
they are so banged up. So I'm looking forward. This is a hectic week. I've got Big Red Wrap Up. Got Nebraska City.
Is that Big Red Rapids tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I've got Holy Ghost, so it should be.
You got Holy Ghost this week?
Should be a ton of fun. Ton of fun for you, boy.
Maybe I'll ride along with Holy Ghost this week.
It's very, very, very depressing if you let it be. So you got to attack it, man. Got to attack it. Like Friday though, that was mean. Where do you start?
We're doing this in the chat already.
What happened?
We're talking about volleyball, how they have good years. I'm like, well, Big Ten volleyball was down this year. Okay, cool. They still went.
Yeah, so
they went 30-0, man. They lost one set the entire year.
Weird, man. He gives you vibes like he's really about it, and then
what are we talking about? They lost one set the entire conference season.
That's a weird dude.
Come on, man. Like, what are we doing? Good Lord.
Yeah, well,
God, like.
Do I even want to put these on?
I don't know.
All right. No. These are my heavy duties. I try not to scratch them.
What do we? I'll say. What are we working with today? Which ones we got? Are these the 275s?
Yeah. These were at. Would you pay $19 for those?
Yeah, they seem pretty heavy. They seem like pretty quality.
I did.
Yeah, they don't. That's not bad. Like some of them are pretty thin, like flimsy.
Yeah, I made the mistake.
They look like they're made out of aluminum foil.
I got called with an end cap thing at an automotive place.
Yeah.
And they had all these sweet glasses for like people that actually do like hard things, like work on cars.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh man, I may get some manliness in me.
You start working on cars now?
I just felt like the environment would wash over me. But it did.
Yeah.
Still soft as a batch of cookies. Which, by the way.
Well, sorry, we got different skills.
We'll get to this or Iowa. I'm just going to get this out of the way.
Yeah.
You are not eating a Little Debbie Christmas tree.
Oh, 100%. I love those things. I got another one in my car. It's a backup in case I need it.
You're having
okay. You want to tell me what I'm having for breakfast this morning?
Diet Coke, goldfish, and a Little Debbie Christmas tree.
100%, yeah.
That's what we're on?
Yeah.
Wow.
Ravi.
Listen, sometimes I like
Wow.
the goldfish give you a little saltiness because I don't always just want the sweet.
Whew.
You know,
Yeah.
those Christmas trees go hard.
I was
though,
so
man.
mad at myself. I had fast food on Friday.
Did you?
Yeah.
What'd you have?
I didn't even finish it.
What'd you break down and get?
Long John Silver's.
Oh, it was like your twice a year?
Once a year. I didn't even finish it. I ate the butterfly shrimp, a piece of fish, and a piece of chicken.
Yeah.
And that was it.
No hush puppies for your boy?
Nope. No nothing.
No nothing?
I left. I didn't eat the macaroni that came with it, and my buddy's little boy ate it yesterday. And I had put it in the fridge.
Oh, there you go. Not trying to poison anybody else's kids.
No, little DJ, he's a cutie. And everybody else was gone. They went to go see Caleb and Zoe and Jake. They went to go see Zootopia.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it was just me, D-Ray, and DJ.
Yeah?
Yeah. This little dude was throwing all Buddha's toys all over the place, and Buddha's nuts. So my OCD was kicking in as this dog was just tearing through the house, and I was like, dude, let's calm down. But he was living his best life, and he's a cutie pie, so I let chaos happen momentarily.
I was out yesterday, and I met one of my favorite strange dogs just in the wild. There's some stores that allow you to bring pets in.
Yeah.
And I ran into
Which I don't understand.
I mean, if it's like a retail store, who cares,
I'm
right?
just saying a lot of black people don't do that. What?
Can I tell you something? I don't want to tell on you here.
He was black?
No.
What?
He definitely was not black.
Wow.
Like he was pretty quiet.
Okay.
Cool dude.
What were you gonna tell me?
Oh, well, I mean, I've seen you bring your dog into a public place where you're not supposed to have dogs. 100%. When you first got, I think it was Biggie, you brought him to Summer League. Like little puppy, you were carrying him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a minute ago.
That'd be like a decade ago.
It was.
You didn't even know who I was, and I was like, "What's DB walking around with a puppy for?"
Yeah, I must have been having a moment. I think I might have come. Was it at night?
Yeah.
I think I come straight from Aurora.
Yeah. I was saying, I think you had just gotten it.
Yeah.
Just gotten it.
Yeah. Because that. Yeah, I'm not that dude.
I'm just saying.
Although I went to go get some fish a couple months ago, and an older lady had her dog at the pet store, and it was a German Shepherd, and it momentarily got me through.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
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 Well, you love German Shepherds too.
I do. I follow this guy on TikTok he's a dog expert, and he was talking about top 5 dog breeds he would never train. Do you know what he put in the top 5?
What?
He put Huskies.
Oh yeah, Huskies are a handful.
I love Huskies.
Oh, they're great dogs, but they're a lot.
This guy is legit.
Yeah. Huskies are too smart.
Yeah, he goes,
they're too smart for their own
want to
good.
train and own a dog that always has freedom on its mind. Yeah, like it was. So anyway, yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, but
that was not my dog.
So, well,
that was Ashton's dog. You guys,
the one that I saw was your dog, but I saw
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
because I was watching Summer League basketball.
So yesterday I was out. I saw 2 dogs out. One was a Saint Bernard, which I love, but the other one was a Bull Mastiff. I love. I
used to. So I've kind of gravitated towards what I couldn't get.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I've never been in control of my own household. So started with German Shepherds, and I wanted a Bulldog. Then I like Mastiffs. Then I wanted a Presa.
Yeah.
And I ended up with a Frenchie.
That's the type of Bulldog? You ended up with 2 Frenchies.
So emasculating.
No, this Bull Mastiff though was like such a sweetheart. Like her name was Hannah. She was terrific. Great dog.
D-Ray's, he has 2 big dogs at home, and DJ, his little boy, was like, I can ride my dogs, but then they just shake me off.
Yeah, little kid definitely could have rode this dog. This dog was huge.
My little dude was rocking his Pokemon hat. It was so cute. It was like, oh, I'm not pissed about Iowa anymore.
You might be the only one.
I used my phone probably about 18 times, as you could tell with the group. I didn't. You guys didn't hear from me until when? Yesterday?
No, you texted me Saturday.
What'd I say? It had to be brief.
It was during Michigan, Ohio State. I think you just said go blue, and I said 100%.
Yeah.
And then I just kept on pushing.
Yeah. I put that thing up.
Yeah.
I think at one point yesterday, it was like 6:30, and I had like 89% left.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's impressive. That's hard to do.
Well, Caleb was home, and Mike is not talkative, so. I mean, what else was I? What?
That's funny because, I mean, both of them were not talkative at different times.
Yeah.
Or in different ways.
It's just the emotional, the growing pains that this thing is going to have to go through, I think are. And it's so interesting.
Maybe a little greater than we thought.
Well, what a difference 2 weeks makes.
So that's the part that sucks.
Like and I'll dial it down even closer.
Mm-hmm. It's like 6 days.
So with 2 and some change left in the second quarter,
felt fine.
Iowa has 123 total yards.
Yeah, felt fine. You're like Nebraska.
You get them to 2nd and 9. They go hurry up. They crease you. You're not lined up right. You get hands to the face a play later, and then you're in trouble.
So,
like it was like, what just happened?
Do we want to do it this early?
What are we talking about?
Well, I have some questions. I have some questions.
You can ask me anything you want.
You don't have to answer if you don't want to. I did ask the dude if I could pet his dog, and
what kind of dog was it?
The Bull Mastiff, remember?
Oh, yeah. You did say Bull Mastiff.
Great dog. He was impressed that I could eyeball it and know it was a Bull Mastiff. I was like, oh, I know my Mastiffs.
And I know my dogs.
Oh,
where,
yeah.
Where were you?
Shields.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I have is it there or Dick's? I was cleaning out my car when I got the other one.
Yeah.
And I have a nice gift card.
Oh, really?
That I forgot all about. I put it in my glove.
Nice.
I'm like, I've been buying this kid's black tea. I'm spending that one on me. For real. Christmas or not.
You're like, this one's for me.
Yeah, I forgot. And it's a decent number.
Yeah. Is it?
I mean, it's fine.
Yeah. Get you a little something
more than what you got.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you can like get a couple things.
Yeah.
Nice.
A thing.
Well, depends on what you get.
I can get a thing.
Sometimes they have good sales.
I'm gonna get 2 mouthpieces.
No, okay. So I've got some questions. If you're ready, are you settled in,
dude? It's not gonna offend me.
I know it's not. I'm ready to have some conversations about Butler.
Yeah, they're warranted.
It was bad.
They're warranted,
like really bad. And as you know, I defended him most of the season. I thought it was better than people gave it credit for, and the numbers backed it up. The last 2 weeks, I'm just like, what the hell are we doing, man?
Yeah.
And you know the thing that like finally got me, and I think you were sort of maybe around the barn hinting at this earlier. I can't figure, like, I assume he's the one that decides who plays. And I'm over that. Like, there's a lot of guys that play that I'm like, I don't know what we're doing, homie. Like, I don't know how many times you can see like a linebacker in the wrong spot, or a defensive lineman get washed out, or a late run fit, or somebody get fooled without a pump fake. And like, I don't know how many times you can watch that and not just say like, hey, I'm getting my ass kicked with you. I might as well try getting my ass kicked without you.
See, that's how I felt. So I have to, yeah, we can have this conversation.
Like that, if I'm being honest, that's where my initial, like, what are we doing here started, is the substitutions or lack thereof. And then it kind of went to, hey, seems a lot like the adjustments aren't there once somebody figures it out.
Yeah, so I think, so we'll start here. Like, ultimately, I think, and I'm not even going to pull a Sipple. You know, Sipple be like, I got to be careful here. I don't really have to be careful, right? I mean, you can say whatever you want. I can say what I want.
Yeah.
And so there's 2 things. Number one, and I said this, people didn't like this, but it turns out to be true, right? So at the time when I said after Penn State, hey, listen, this is going to be people don't want to hear it, but it's like a character culture game.
Yeah.
That's all Iowa ever is.
Yeah, always. A lot like Minnesota, frankly.
It's all it ever is, which is why I'm always fearful that Nebraska struggles against teams that can do hard things
Over and over.
that are tough
and over
and over again. They just haven't been that team. So to that point, to your point, at some point, whether it's from a development standpoint, whether it's you want to play young player standpoint, whether it's whatever, you want to coach your way into having options, you have to play in such a way that gives you the most coaching options. If the coaching style or the scheme or the environment is such that it takes such an elite few and it doesn't whittle out or get the right elite, then you have to take a look at it.
Yeah.
So you can want to be site-based, you can adjust, you can want to site adjust, you can be comfortable doing things. But the fewer people that you have can pull that off,
the worse you're going to be.
The worse it's going to be.
Yeah.
So you have to revisit that. Now, I'm not one of those guys. I'm not dumb enough, and I've done this long enough to know I'm not just going to listen to narratives because somebody told me, right? So, Blackledge, bless his heart, I was messing with him at Penn State during the broadcast, because I met him at the Jet Awards. He was our guest speaker.
Yeah.
And I was like, I said, you even have former players repeating, like, hey, NFL guy, want to stop the pass first.
Yeah.
As though it's intentional to not want to stop the run.
Right.
It's not. So that's number one. I want to make that clear. The intent is to not stop the run.
Yeah. That's a byproduct. That's not what they're trying. That's not what they're going for.
Right. So, but again, people can make you dumber, and this isn't to Blackledge. This is for people that pair it without taking time to ask the questions. Hey, what's the design here defensively?
Yeah. What's the desired outcome?
Like, what's the desire? Yeah. What's the desired outcome?
What are we trying to do?
What are you trying to do?
Yeah.
So, with JB, I think I can see what he's trying to do. I do, actually. What I don't understand is it's kind of twofold. So it's not as linear as I'm going to say it.
Okay.
So other people will try to make it that linear. If you're not getting the outcome, there's three things, actually. If you're not getting the desired outcome that you want, I can use new players. I could teach it different, or I could double down on the process. The one thing that I think,
or you could try and do something else schematically.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
or is that what you meant by teaching different?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
okay.
two.
I thought you meant like technique wise.
No.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
What I don't understand is fast tracking guys or riding with guys that over time have proven that they're not capable.
So that's the thing that's got me.
But there's a couple of things in that. And you can do with it what you will. I'll just tell you what I think people think.
Absolutely.
Like, I think for whatever the reason, and coaches aren't always right. I'm guilty. Like, everybody's been guilty of this. You think you see something in somebody or some things,
100%.
and you want to go with it.
100%.
Right? Oh, I know what they're capable of. Right? So there's that. The other thing that you can do is if you can protect them too.
Yeah, don't put them in positions where they can't do the thing.
But what you can't do is, because this is the way I do it, I'm going to make this fit come heck or high water. I'm going to be right about this eval, and this is the scheme that I want to run. That's where I think they're in trouble, or that has gotten them in trouble.
Yeah.
And I had this conversation, and it's hard. Like, this went deep into the night with guys, where if you're going to start on the defensive side of the ball, which clearly this is where you're going to start, right? You stop the run with attitude and toughness.
Yeah.
you defend the pass with skill.
Yep.
I'm going to say this one more time. And anybody, I don't care if it's Saban, I don't care if it's Kiffin, you stop the run with toughness and attitude. You defend the pass with skill. So you have to teach it that way, right? What you have to demand it that way.
Yeah.
Because what we're not talking about that I think is very, very interesting is the juxtapose. If you flip it around, Nebraska ran the football down Iowa's throat.
Yep. They sure did.
Right?
Yep.
And that's the unit that was supposed to be so maligned.
Offensive line?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All year. People just whining about O-line.
There's no way around this. The offensive line physically dominated Iowa on Friday.
You'll never see those kind of rushing stats in a loss that bad again. I bet you not against that team.
That was a top 12 rushing defense for Iowa nationally, and a unit that no one liked all year that frankly beat the hell out of Iowa.
Do you know why?
All day.
Do you know why?
Go ahead.
Because they're tough.
The offensive line?
Yes.
Yeah, they're mean-spirited.
They're tough.
Yeah. And for whatever you say about Pritchett, like, he's about that life. And I think he's got a hell of a lot better. Like, I think he's gotten really good.
It's not even debatable.
Like, he's really good.
It's not even debatable.
This is the guy we thought we were getting from Alabama. We've seen it the last probably 4 or 5 games.
Better now.
Yes.
Than when he was at Alabama.
For sure. I think this is what people thought they were getting in an Alabama left tackle or right tackle.
So it's not because you can't have it both ways. You can't be down on because people are down on Coach Holgorsen and the staffs in general, right? But you can't have it both ways. You can't be upset with like sequential play calling or whatever, and then say, oh, like the offensive line is smoke and mirroring running the football.
No, they were dominating.
They were. It was so physical.
They're manhandling them.
And I'm not gonna go crazy.
I'm not either. But like, you see the holes that were opened up. Like, I don't know how else to put it.
There was some serious pad popping going on.
Yeah, like they were giving it to him.
See, that's what I want to have happen
on the defensive side.
Defensively.
Yeah, it didn't at any point.
Listen, when you're playing a puller, play it.
Yeah, hammer him.
When you're trying to get reached, be violent. Where, again, I don't know, and I'm telling you, I don't know enough about what the desired outcome is. Hey, when I see arc step or I read zone or I read this is how I want to do it. I just know you can't defend the run playing laterally when you see scoops and outside zone steps. You just can't. You have to attack it at 45s and get vertical. And I have a hard time believing that isn't taught. So what happened? I don't know. Right? Where it could be a misevaluation of talent. It could be, they had to do some things defensively that I know that they're uncomfortable doing, but you have to be able to play more than 2 linebackers. If you can't play more than 2 linebackers at a functional level, then you have to either revisit the system or revisit the eval.
Yeah.
You cannot say, and this is one of the things that bug me to no end. And when I look at when I hear and I say I look out there and I see a young guy this or a redshirt guy that or this, those kinds of things bug me, because at the end of the year, at this juncture in the season, nobody cares about how old you are. They care about how you play.
Yeah.
And you may be right as a coach, because those players are inevitably going to get better. I think. I won't say that.
Inevitable is strong.
Yeah, I don't like extremes. There's a good chance they have an opportunity that they're not done with their maturation.
Yeah, their development.
Let's say that.
Yeah.
But what you can't have is you can't resign yourself to that, because it's up to you and that staff to make sure that they're playing in a way that gives you the best chance to win
today.
right now. Right now.
And here's the thing that, because if you don't always know what the desired outcomes are, I know even less, right, in terms of what they're trying to do defensively.
I mean, maybe not. I don't know.
Schematically. Here's why it bothers me, right, is because I do understand a certain amount about the way coaches think and the way things logically should happen. And for me, and you brought this up, but I wanted to hit on it again because I think it's important. And it's one of my biggest frustrations because I'm not going to try and sit here and pretend like I understand exactly what they're trying to accomplish. Mm-hmm. I am certain they weren't trying to accomplish giving up 40 points against Iowa, but the details of it, can get a little granular for me. I will say.
Did you think Iowa had more total yards?
Yes. Yes, just because it felt
like it.
It felt so bad in the second half. Like I was like, they had to have, right? My thing is,
can you live with 379?
Yeah. I probably don't want to against Iowa.
If I would have told you Moulton was going to go, whatever he went, was he 18 for 93?
Like that, yes, right? I believe so.
And Gronowski was going to be under 70.
I would take that 100%.
Yeah, there was 40 points, right?
Yep.
At the end of the day, we can nitpick, and this is going to be a fascinating day, right? 888-638-4876. All these people have all these strong opinions when, like, they're hammering on either social media or a message board. Like, I think the easiest way to reconcile, like, people's thoughts is to, like, just talk about it.
Yeah, have a discussion.
Because it's easier for us
to understand what you mean.
To navigate a discussion than it is just 50 characters or 60 characters. So I'm more than willing to have any sort of conversations about just about anything, because the program right now is you have to really, really take.
It's soul searching mode.
It seems a little hyperbolic, but maybe not. I don't
think it is. I really don't.
I'm not going to fight you over that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's serious self-eval at the very least.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But like, I think you got to go a little deeper than that. While on some of this,
Coach Rule, he definitely has some tough decisions to make.
Yeah,
and there will be some big things that happen, I think, in the next couple of weeks that I think we just have to allow ourselves to understand it's part of the process. That's my gut.
Yeah,
that is. And some things are evasive, and you try to pin them down and have these conversations. And listen, not everything is for me.
Yeah,
right,
for sure.
So, generally speaking, as a way of life, not everything is for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like just as people, not everything is designed for you. So, I'm willing to. I'm more than willing to sit and watch, but I do know one thing: you cannot do what you've been doing.
For sure. Like this cannot continue.
And there's a lot of places I would start too. Like,
I mean, I'm starting with defensive coordinator. If I'm being like, that's where I started with the show. That's where I'm starting with my soul searching as well, because the thing that I don't understand, it's the thing I understand probably the most about coaching, but I don't understand about what I continue to see, is what do we always say? You don't always play the best player. You play the player that you can trust. Mm-hmm. At what point, after you see the same result over and over and over and over again, do you decide you can't trust that person anymore? Or those people anymore? Because I don't think it's one guy, right? I think there's several. But at a certain point, I don't care what happens in practice. If they prove that I can't trust you in a game, that's what matters. I get practice has to be there too. I get they have to show it every day, because that's what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. Show me you can do the hard thing every day, because if you can't do it every day in practice, I don't trust you can do it every snap in a game. But if somebody tells you, screams at you with their play over and over again that I cannot be trusted to do my job, at some point, you have to give somebody else an opportunity. You have to. Mm-hmm. And if you don't, you're hurting the entire team. Like, if you're either so stubborn or like can't see it or whatever, have the blinders on, I don't think it's malicious. Like, I don't think it's intentionally harmful. But if you cannot see it, then you're hurting everyone. Like, there are certain guys on that defense that proved they could not be trusted. And I think people think I'm only talking about one or two. There's several. Like, this isn't a one guy thing. There were several guys on that defense that proved they could not be trusted over and over and over again. And yet we kept seeing them over and over and over again. And like I said, I got this from you. If I can lose with you, I might as well try losing without you.
Yeah. Or more like I haven't won with you.
Yeah. Like, if I'm going to give up 40 to Iowa with you, maybe I try something else.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get it.
That's where I start, because that's the hardest thing for me to fathom, is watching that and being like, nope, those are the guys.
I guess part of the things that I would like to know, just so I could have more intelligent conversations, is like, why be pot committed to some things? Like, why do some guys get fast tracked?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I want to know. Because that, and again, I'm going to say this again, not everything is for me. You don't have to tell me, but one thing I think you have to know is, why did you think the way you did?
Yeah.
I said this 2 weeks ago. This isn't even revisionist history. You didn't get what you wanted with the explosive movement front, right?
It just didn't happen.
Why?
Fair question. I don't know.
Is it misavow? Is it how we taught it? Is it maybe we need to tinker with, we thought this scheme would, because this happens. I'm just telling you, and guys, you don't want to hear it, but even for as much money as these guys get paid,
you think it's going to go one way and it doesn't?
Schematically, you coach what you know.
Sure.
You coach.
You don't want to be in a position where you're coaching something you don't feel like you're an expert in.
Not mid-season.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So there's always this crazy fine line.
There is three defensive coordinators and Matt Rule on the staff.
There is this crazy fine line between, all right, scrap overhaul. Does this come across as panic, or do what we have to do to win? But you cannot call base in goal line, right? Like,
no,
you just can't.
No.
But he knows why that happens. He has to ask himself, is this something that's repeatable? Is this something that I can grow from? Is this me getting caught? Like, the self-eval thing is critical, but it's not just coaches. It's players too.
Sure. Absolutely.
Like
players have to ask themselves, was I actually doing all the things I was being asked to do?
Yeah.
Was I actually
am I really capable of doing hard things every day?
Yeah. And if you think the answer is yes, and you feel like you're being honest with yourself, then that's probably when you start being like, okay, well, am I just not a good fit for this system? Am I, that's where you have to start asking those questions.
Yeah. And it's always weird too. You never. So this is interesting, because I don't know. Everybody's different in terms of how they approach ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there are two distinct times that I can remember getting my teeth kicked in. And both times, the side that I was on acted the same way. So I go back to 96 in Tempe.
Okay.
Got our ass kicked.
Yep.
Up and down the field physically.
Mm-hmm.
I remember our warm-ups. I remember their warm-ups. Clearly. Pissed. I'm a captain too, so this is on me.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of our guys, where these guys, they come out of the deal, they walk through they walk through our warm-ups. We're stretching. Freaking Peter's losing his mind, and not enough guys were bothered by it. Mm-hmm. We got our ass whipped. And I fast forward, 19 years later, we're getting ready to play Central, and we're loosey-goosey, and we got the music going, and man, Central didn't say one word. Not one. Walked out, warmed up. I'm like, man, I know these guys. Like, I grew up with these guys. Only two coaches said hello. It was Mackey and Coach Muhammad. Only two guys that spoke. Everybody else, mirrors in their pocket, practice looking hard. I'm like, cool, right? When I walked in before we kicked off, I'm like, fudge, man, these guys are dialed. Like they met during their warm-ups, before they went in, like they met. They didn't say one word. Man, they whipped our ass.
Yeah.
Right? So those two things stick in my mind. And I watch like just how people go about their business. And I have a hard time discerning between, do you know what's really coming, or are you just in your own zone?
Yeah.
At no point watching Iowa warm up Friday did I feel good about what was coming. Like at no point. So I don't know.
Did that change when it started the way it did? And you're like, oh, Nebraska's kind of in this.
So here, let me just finish real quick.
Yeah.
So when you're evaluating, can you do hard things every day?
Yeah.
Like players change, cultures change. Like Ja'Cory Barney isn't going to approach it the same way as, like, let's say Buddha Wright. Buddha isn't going to approach it the same way as Rocco Spindler. Right? So Nebraska comes out. They're moving the ball. Defensively, they look pretty solid. What Nebraska has to understand, or what I'd like to understand, is why does it not take very much for the wheels to come completely off? If you want to know the answer to what ails the program, you can talk development, you can talk whatever, and maybe it's tied to identity. I don't know. But one thing I would love to know is why, when it goes south, does it go south so fast?
Yeah.
That is, for me, that's emotional toughness. But if I'm not emotionally tough, it could be a multitude of reasons. Is it the day-to-day rigor? Is it deep down how I'm wired? Is it the situations that I've been put in that kind of cultivate this external trigger or this response?
Is it just insecurity?
Could be.
Like, I don't know if I'm good enough.
So for me, before you get to, I want Holgerson's head on a platter, I want Butler's head on a platter, I can't stand the way Brady, before you get to any of that, you need to look at, like, I don't know if I would have said, I don't know if I would have had the stones to say, don't be toxic towards the players. Right?
Yeah.
I know why he said it.
Yeah.
And I'm not knocking him for why he said it. But the need to be protective, some of that is just his personality.
Sure.
I've watched him parent. I've watched him around the house. Like, he's a caregiver by nature. He is going to want to protect you. But sometimes, like, you have to let folks go through it so they know what it's like to not feel that way. And then conversely, on the other hand, like, hope that people are mature enough to leave folks, like to leave the young men alone. Money aside, I hear these idiots. I also wasn't making such and such. Man, money doesn't. I've said this 1,000 times for 20 years, right? I've been dumb with money. I've been dumb without. Money isn't the indicator.
Yeah.
It's not.
And if it is, like, what's the dollar
not.
amount? What's the dollar amount that it's okay to be a jerk?
I've done some stupid things in 2025, and I've done some stupid things in 2005. Right? Guess what wasn't an influence?
How much money you were making.
How much money I was making.
Yeah.
So, and maybe everybody's different, but there's three critical pieces that they really have to attack. Fortifying toughness, doing hard things every day. You have to blend having all the fine things that you get with wanting to recruit to Lincoln, Nebraska. The amenities, the facilities, the fan base, you eat well with, that's fine. but we have to develop this toughness. So you have to be very conscientious on the day-to-day to lay it on the line.
Mm-hmm.
Lay it on the line. This other stuff is a perk. Lay it on the line. This other stuff is the perk. That's coaches, that's players, that's everybody. That's number one. Number two is, how do we want to play? Like, who do we want to be?
That's the identity part.
Whoever that is, that's how you have to develop. That's how you have to recruit. I said this right after the pregame about buying crayons versus markers versus colored pencils. I'll know what medium I want to draw in if I know, shoot, I may need clay.
Yeah, what you want the final product to look like.
Yeah, if I want a pottery piece, shoot, I'm using clay, man. I'm not using markers.
Yeah,
Right?
crayon's not going to help you there.
So whatever I want that to be, that's how I have to build my staff. That's how I have to build my staff's temperament. And you may have to sacrifice aptitude and flexibility for fortitude and dependability. They don't have to be mutually exclusive.
But if you are choosing one or the other.
If you feel like you have to choose one or the other, take the people that are best reflective. Like, I'll play a less smart, tough guy that's willing to get his ass kicked than I will the uber talented guy that can get me the occasional havoc play.
But he's not about that life.
In this conference, you have to be about that life.
Yes.
For as good as we think Ohio State is talented-wise, they were tougher than Michigan.
It's the first time they've been tougher than Michigan.
Doesn't matter. They were tougher than Michigan.
No, but that's what I mean.
And
that's why they
right?
won, right? Because that's the first time they've been tougher than Michigan.
For all of Indiana's whatever, Mendoza being up for the Heisman, that's a tough football team.
Yeah.
That's a tough football team.
Absolutely.
Right. What is it that we like about Iowa?
Tough.
That's a tough football team.
What's the thing we hate about Minnesota? They're tougher than us.
So those are things, and nobody likes to say those things out loud. But you have to examine it. So that's number two. And then number three is going forward, who do we want to surround ourselves with that give us the best opportunity at a future? Not everybody is for you.
Yeah?
Listen, not everybody is for you. So surround yourself with people, and it doesn't mean yes men.
No.
Or yes women.
But it's people that you can tell they're motivated by wanting you to succeed.
They're going to tell you the truth out of love.
Yeah.
Just keep it simple. They're going to tell you the truth out of love. And sometimes you have to be willing to cheer for other people, and it may be at your own expense. Find those people.
Let's get to Ben here. Let's talk a little Nebraska defense before we hit a break and get to Sam McKEWON. Ben, what's going on, buddy? How we doing?
Hey, just wanted to kind of dovetail the toughness discussion with the defensive woes. And it's kind of hard to be tough when you have the inability to get aligned, know your assignment, and execute. And to DB's point of playing two linebackers, if you're only going to play two linebackers, you have to have a safety who's going to be able to fit in the run game and do it consistently and get downhill. That doesn't appear to be an option with the safeties they're playing. And then likewise, also have to be able to recognize on play action or anything that involves backs out of the backfield if it's going to be a pass play. You can't get rubbed and get fooled on routes continuously.
So, Ben, let me ask you something. I get it, right? And this is hard for me. So I need some help here. I'm just being honest. Anytime you talk about safety play, the elephant in the room is that I think I got a guy that's pretty good. I get it, right? So I have to be cognizant that I don't lack or that I'm being objective. Is this across the board for secondary play, or when you're talking about fits, you're talking about schematically for the total defense?
I'm talking about schematically, specifically one player, but in each of the games where we've given up long runs, that one person's run fit he's last in line, and he gets the most time to see it. So it shouldn't be so hard for him to get into the spot he needs to get to. He's consistently not in the right spot, and we keep getting creased on these outside zone plays where it's harder to fit for linebackers when you're closer, because the defensive linemen can get pushed into different holes, and then you look like you're in the wrong spot when you're trying to read where they're going, and they actually make you in the wrong spot. So you got to be able to see that and be able to come up and fit and clean that up. And in this year, I did not see the ability to do that. And then I didn't see the ability to adjust for knowing you can't do it. So there's two problems.
Let me ask you one more thing. Do you think it matters if you play 3, 4, or 5 down?
No, I don't know, because you're trying to eat up blocks up front. I would want more guys in the second level that are more athletic to be able to run side to side to clean that stuff up than necessarily have 5 guys up front, because now you have 5 guys up front. If they get beat, you're a significant deficit there. So it doesn't matter, but you have to know how to do it.
All right, I'll rock with that.
Appreciate the call, Ben. Good stuff there.
I'll take it.
No, I thought so. I think that's
and the only
call.
reason I asked him the second question is because it just let me know like how open-minded.
Yeah. Well,
how open his mind was to, because there's multiple ways to skin a cat.
For sure. And I think Jay Sadi in here.
That's my dude. He's a Miller South guy though, so be careful.
Oh, I know. We had it out a couple weeks ago.
He's a knucklehead now.
Yeah, no, but I think we reached some common ground. He said this in the post game.
You talk about somebody that's seen me at my worst.
Jay?
That dude has seen me at my worst.
So he mentioned this in post game, and then he brought it up again this morning. And I think it's fair
All right, talk to me.
I think when people, because the 3 down versus 4 down versus 5 down reminded me of this. He said when people talk about the defensive line and about them being too small, it's about them playing small, not actually being small, right? If they played the way we wanted them to play, with violence and aggression and solve problems with aggression the way we talk about, then we wouldn't have a problem with their weight. Mm-hmm. We have a problem that they play small. We have a problem that they have small attitudes, that they have toughness of smaller guys, rather than like, it's not like if they looked like Iowa's under 300-pound line, we'd be cool, right? It's not actually about the size. It's about how big they play, and they don't play big enough.
Yeah.
Which I think is fair. I think that's a fair place to land on it, because if we had 3 down linemen and they played huge and everything worked, we wouldn't care there's 3 down linemen. And to Ben's point, when you play 5 down linemen, that causes problems on the back end for some other things as well, right? Yeah. There's a reason somebody, unless you're in goal line or like an obvious short yardage or something like that, like there's a reason people don't play 5 down linemen anymore. Like that's a really tough way to make a living if you're trying to do that on like a down-to-down basis.
He didn't hesitate either. That's probably not a person I would mind talking to.
He sounded like he was thoughtful about the way he was processing things.
Yeah, and did you see how quick he answered? It wasn't a trap, but it just gave me an idea of what I was talking to.
Yeah, very quickly. No, don't care what it looks like.
Does 3, 4, or 5 matter?
Yeah, he immediately said no.
No.
Didn't even have to think about it.
So we got to move past that.
Yeah, it's not about the number of down linemen. It's not about the size of the linemen. It's about how big or how well do these guys play. That's it. That's all we actually care about.
I'm gonna say this at the risk of getting killed here, but fudge, man, I don't care.
It's like let's let it roll. Let's do it.
So, I had some really good conversations with DBJ Jr. and some of these guys last week and the week before last. I'm gonna tell you one thing, and it's up to him to fix it. But of all the guys that you want to throw the moniker soft around,
mm-hmm.
It isn't Coach Rule. Now, I say that understanding full well he is the head coach. So he has to have every opportunity to correct it. But he's a lot of things, soft isn't one of them. And again, I understand, right? I talk to him more than most, so I run the risk of sounding crazy.
Sure.
He's not soft.
That's
got some other tough decisions to make.
That's not the place I would go with him for sure.
Like, but it's definitely not his softness. It's definitely not his softness. Now, my man Uncle Ronald, who said so they were tough last year, but not this year. I got to tell you something. Yes and no. Because we always hearken back to are we still talking defense?
Yeah, I think so.
Some people have to be apologetic, not apologetic, but at least say, okay, maybe the offensive line wasn't as bad as I thought. Because when we throw these monikers around, you have to be careful.
And you have to be
that we're not labeling everybody.
You have to be specific, because I don't think there's a chance. Whatever you felt about the offensive line, there's not a chance you can say they weren't tough
or physical.
Right? Like, you don't get.
They ran 4 plays, right? Now there were some sweet little wrinkles, like the pin pull,
eye candy,
the 2 false pullers. Like, I like the motion.
And listen, Emmett was doing work.
But
don't get me wrong, Emmett was doing work.
That line is not soft.
You may not love their pass pro or whatever, but like, not soft. Also,
dirty little secret. If you had to list positional strengths going into next year.
So I did this on the postgame show a little bit, because people were talking about,
Do you know what time I left Lincoln?
Not early enough.
I don't know what took so long.
Mm-hmm. So game was 11. You're done at 3.
Ryan had already torn down his setup.
Really?
Yeah. When I walked over there.
So what? You're like 5? 4:30?
It's a blur because I was super pouty.
Okay.
So I don't even know. It was later than I thought.
Okay. So I kind of did this with Rico on the post game, because everybody's emotional, myself included, and everybody's calling.
I realize you're going to be like, man, that damn DB is a fool. I'm just telling you, man, dude isn't soft. Like, I know what he's trying to accomplish. He's got some tough decisions to make, but that's the guy you want making them. I'm just saying, because he'll worry about being well liked later.
Mm-hmm.
He'll worry about being well liked later.
I think if you're a hey, I want heads on a platter guy, I think you could make the argument, and especially considering how the season started and people wanting to call for Donnie's job and whatever, I think you could make the argument that of the people that deserve to have their job evaluated in a critical way, Donnie is not anywhere near the top of that list.
I would agree with that.
I think Eckler's.
I agree with
Eckler's probably 1. Eckler's probably 1. You could make an argument Donnie's somewhere in that, like, whatever the next spot is. My arguments would probably be for Donnie and Barthel in terms of guys that I was like, yeah, there's no, like, guys that don't need to have their job questioned or have their performance questioned. He's somewhere in the next couple of guys after Eckler.
Yeah, he's Cappy. He's already gotten rid of a couple friends.
Yeah,
so
listen, if
don't think that's a thing. He didn't know Braden. He didn't know Butler. He didn't know White.
You think he wanted to get rid of Cooper?
Now, a couple of those guys left, but Knighton was his boy.
So, Cooper was his boy.
Like,
demoted Sat. Foley was his boy.
Didn't know Holgerson when he hired him. Like, what friends are we talking about?
Let's take a quick break here.
Is it Sam yet?
It is Sam. We're 7:59. It's time.
I saw Sam and Pat. Sam is little.
Is he lean?
Little.
All right. I see you, Sam.
Sam had on a flannel. It looked like I wanted to put it under my carpet. It was steamy.
Yeah. Maybe he's been going to see our friends over at Next Gen Male Medical.
I hope it's intentional, because I always comment on that, and sometimes it's not. And he doesn't draw attention to it.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, he diffuses it.
Yeah, he's like, no.
So I'm like, oh God, I hope nothing's wrong.
Well, let's hope not. Hope he's just getting lean and mean. Good old Sam McKEWON. We'll talk to him next here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
I'll be the first to say that that's unacceptable. And I certainly understand. I certainly understand how that feels to all the great fans that we have. The student section that's full. People come to the game, and I understand their disappointment. I understand our team's disappointment. I think when you end the season the way we have the last two games, it has to rest solely on me. And I've loved this team. I love everything about them. I certainly didn't think today would go that way. Thought we came out ready to play, and in the end, they were the better football team. So I don't shirk that. I own that. I'm responsible for it. I understand that in times like this, it can get a little bit negative, and I just say honestly, all that should all be directed at me. I don't want the players to panic. It shouldn't go towards them. It shouldn't go towards the coach. I think it has to fall on me. We want to be a team that gets better at the end of the year, and these last two games have not been that. So I take that. I own that.
Speaking of Lexi Rodriguez, she's the all-time digs leader at Nebraska. Now, who did she pass?
She was a coach at, I can't remember what was it? Kayla Banworth?
Not Kayla Banworth, and she's an Olympian.
Wong.
Good job.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll give you a hint. She's an Olympian.
Jordan Larson.
Not quite Jordan.
I was going to say Jordan Larson.
Miss Wong.
No, believe me, we talked about that before the game, and certainly talked about it after the game. For whatever reason, in this building, we've not gotten off to the type of starts that we need to get our incredible crowd behind us. And on the road, we've gotten off to really good starts when we went and played in those neutral site games. And it's just not carrying over right now here. And then I just didn't like our resolve tonight and our resiliency when they threw the first punch. And a team like that, they're going to milk the clock when they get a lead, and they built that thing up to double digits. And I just didn't like our toughness. And they were chasing us and warring us through screens, which we're going to see, especially these next three games. And I just didn't like how we handled it. And, we just kind of had that deer in headlights look. And finally, we had one deflection in 9 minutes. That's pathetic. And finally, we got it going a little bit. And it started with Kale's deflection, and it started with Braden Frager's block. And that got us going in transition. It got Price going. And I think we went in a 17-0 run to finish that half and to get the lead.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Meanwhile, ensuing kickoff is short, near right. Caden Weegan comes up. No, he didn't field it. Ball's loose. It looks like the Huskers got it. Iowa was just standing around, and the Huskers got the ball. Nebraska ball. Wow. It's Wacker who picks it up.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by Sam McKEWON from the Omaha World Herald. Sam, how are we doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you guys today?
Sam, how are you?
Good. Happy belated Thanksgiving.
Thank
you. Hope you had a good time with your family.
Sam, I appreciate the well wishes. You always are kind to me. I did not. It was an awful Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But I mean, it wasn't just Iowa, man. I got former players in trouble. I got former players coming to the house. I mean, I don't need a violin, man, but sometimes life just happens. I missed the whole holiday. I I try to be thankful every day, Sam. So I appreciate you being kind to me.
Sam, as we
you bet.
Hey, by the way, can look, I'm going to say this out loud. Sam, don't be nervous. I'm not going to.
Okay.
I'm nervous.
I thought you looked fantastic, but you're not a guy that draws attention to yourself. And you don't take compliments well. Most men don't. So I'm afraid to say anything. But whatever you're doing is, if it's intentional and it's healthy, you look good.
Thanks. I appreciate that. I'm not. I'm not as fat as I used to be. How's that?
God, typical Sam. I mean, you could ruin a wet dream, Sam. Like, why are you peeing in my Wheaties? Can't I just be kind and you take it? Like,
but no, that's exactly what you're talking about.
Fudge.
I'll tell you what, I did get a good haircut.
Oh God. Okay, stop.
I did last week. I did. I got a good haircut on Wednesday of last week.
Nope. I hate chocolate anyway. No more s'mores for us. We're done. No kumbaya. No fire.
It's true. I got a good one. So thank you.
No.
And you look great too. It's good to see the Heisman Trophy winner too in the press box. It's just always good to have him around.
Yeah, he was. It was funny. He was. I felt bad because he's So one of the things that I love about him is he's really, really, really tough. So we got finished. We got finished with the pregame show, or the pregame show, and Jessica and I do the hit on the field, and it's like we do it early, so it's probably 9:30, and he's on the field, and his back's to me, and Jessica gets done with her hit, and a young lady comes over and she goes, "I hate to interrupt you guys, but is that Eric Crouch behind us?" And so I looked over my left shoulder. And I was like, I think that's EC. But he had on the old Nebraska. He had on the old bomber jacket. But he had on the sweet boots. Like, super sweet. So I was like, oh, my God. I said, I think that's EC. So I went over, and we get along really, really well. And I was like, hey, man. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm doing the coin toss and this, that, and the other. I was like, man, come inside. I'm like, stop. Like, you don't have to be here this early. Like, I said, we'll take you up through the back way, yada, yada, yada. And so that's where we were coming from when I saw you.
Yeah, no, he
had been out there for 30 minutes.
He's tough, for sure. One of the toughest players that ever came through Nebraska.
I agree.
For
I
sure.
agree.
I know there was somebody who said they were the best quarterback ever to come out of the state, and from a high school statistics perspective, I understand that. I think if you want to go the longest view possible, you want to consider winning a Heisman, because that's what Eric did. So, and he had great stats in high school, but man, it would have been fun to watch him in today's offense. In a spread offense where you're able to throw. Not that what we were running at Lower North was bad. It won a lot of football games, so I don't want to knock it at all. But I think if he had been in that kind of offense, I think the numbers he would have put up would have been pretty special, because you try tackling him out of the shotgun on a zone read, and I just don't think that was going very well. And so anyway, he's still the gold standard.
His toughness was incredible.
Oh yeah, and at Nebraska, there's always Tommy Frazier is always going to occupy that top spot. He was the ultimate winner for sure, but there's an argument to be made about Eric's skill set and the things that he was able to do as a runner. He was an incredible player and absolutely deserved the Heisman the year he got it. So felt like Tommy deserved it his year too, but most of the people must have voted before Ohio State lost to Michigan. That must have been what happened, because I'm like, really? I remember, I couldn't believe that Eddie George won the Heisman in '95. And I think if everybody had a chance to vote over again, they would have voted Tommy to be the runaway winner. But unfortunately, he finished second.
Let me ask you something, Sam. We've thrown around the word toughness since last Friday, right? And it was kind of being talked about a little bit, leaving State College. And so along those lines, humor me here. When you talk about toughness, which one needs to reveal itself more, in your opinion, and how closely tied are they? Decisions that Coach Rule may or may not have to make in the offseason, or the way in which you want to see them hang in there in difficult situations during the course of a season?
Well, I think there's a lot of conversations to be had related to. So again, like questioning toughness is kind of like questioning effort.
It's a slippery slope. I agree.
Right. I don't think that Nebraska is not tough. I don't think that. I think that, and I kind of wrote some of this in the column today. We don't have the paper on Mondays, but people will be able to read it in print on Tuesdays, and then they can read it online right now. I think that Nebraska could stand to reorient or redefine where its identity in a program lies. And so I think if you look at Iowa produces great defensive backs, like great ones that go to the NFL and play a long time. But their identity is rooted in their offensive and defensive line. I feel like Nebraska's identity a little bit is rooted in the skill guys. And I think that's something that they need to at least examine. You looked at the captains, they elected 6, and 5 of them are related to throwing or defending the pass. And you have 1 lineman, and you don't have any running back. Best player on the team didn't get a single-digit jersey, didn't get a captaincy. In hindsight, that's probably something they could have revisited. So I think there's just certain elements there that you can revisit. I think Nebraska's tough. I don't want to say that they're not. That's not it. I think they would say we weren't as good on the offensive and defensive line, specifically the defensive line, as we hoped we would be for the entire season, and as it related to the offensive line for the first half of the season. Like they just weren't as good as they wanted to be on the offensive line for a variety of reasons. And I think that's an area where Nebraska needs to reorient its priorities and root its priorities in line play. And I feel like it maybe got a little bit away from that at times this season. And at the end of the season, Nebraska's defensive front seven, they couldn't hold up. I mean, we just saw that, and that was a reality that no one can escape.
Sam, I'm a terrible question asker, so I'm going to ask 2 questions at once because they relate to each other. Number one, why do you think we're still having offensive line discussions, right? This is a team that's coming off of 231 yards rushing against Iowa. And as you mentioned, got better as the season went along. And if I gave you these stats, which one surprises you the most? Nebraska rushing for the 231 as it relates to said offensive line versus Iowa's defense. Nebraska only running 2 less plays than Iowa in a game in which they lost by 24. Or the fact that Iowa threw for 166 yards.
Yeah, so the pass defense fell apart in the last 2 games because they obviously were spending a lot of energy and time trying to get the run defense to be good. And so they were committing extra guys. This is according to their own words. You know, I asked Rule that at the Penn State game. I'm like, your pass defense has been good all year, and tonight it was terrible. I mean, it was bad. Let's not sugarcoat it. It was terrible against Penn State, and it wasn't much better against Iowa. Although Iowa made a few plays. I think some of it is, the pass defense needs to improve. But also their run defense was such a concern that they were running into issues right and left. And just weren't able to account for those issues. That's just really the best way to put it. That's the first thing. The second thing, back to the offensive line. I mean, they got better, but they're going to lose 3 starters. 3 starters who started in that game. So Spindler, Lukowski, and Corcoran. And although I can assume that Catula is going to be back, and I think he will be, and Life Pritchard. Go ahead.
I apologize, Sam. We didn't even like Corcoran, and now we're lamenting. I'm just gonna ask you the question again. I'm serious, Sam. Like, why do you think Donnie Raiola still comes up in discussions?
Because of the way that they played in the first half of the season.
Okay.
And
if anybody else got better on any unit in this team, we would be talking about the fact they got better, right?
Sure.
Or is that just me?
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't personally have. I'm not going to delve too deeply into critiquing offensive line coaching. I feel like I learned my lesson in the Barney Cotton era. Barney Cotton was a good coach, and I mean, we would just rake him over the coals. We would ask him, every Tuesday or whatever, just 12 minutes of questions. You go back and watch those lines.
Oh yeah.
So,
a lot of them played in the NFL.
Yeah, we spent way too much time and energy raking him over the coals. I thought we spent a lot of time and energy raking Greg Austin over the coals, and Greg Austin was a good coach. And so, I think Donovan Raiola has done a pretty good job. I think that the reason that you talk about it, though, going forward is now, this is the way I would put it. You don't really want to have to go to the portal anymore. You want to go,
not for O-linemen necessarily.
No, you want to get it done with the guys that you have on hand. And so one of the things I would say is, okay, Elijah Pritchett's there and he's going to play, right? He's going forward. Mm-hmm. But now you have to find, Kutula's got to come back, and then you've got to develop from within. And so one thing I would say is that they've sort of last year, instead of just, using the guys that they had, they felt like they had to go out and pay a lot of money to get a left tackle and a guard. They did that. Now you want to see that the guys that they've been developing for 3 years step into roles, whether that's Jake Peters and you move Justin Evans back to guard, or Sam Sledge and you move Justin Evans back to guard, or it's Grant Bricks, or it's, the guy coming off the knee injury who was probably the best of the bunch, Gibson Pyle, whoever it is. Like, now is the time to say, okay, Donovan Raiola has been in the program for 4 years. Let's see the guys that he's developed come in so that you don't have to go out and pay a combined $2 million for linemen, because you need it on the defensive side of the ball. And let's be clear. I think that some of those guys are going to get way better over the next 9 months. It took them an entire year to understand what it was going to take. And by that, I'm talking about Keona Davis. I'm talking about Riley Van Poppel, who probably wasn't as good as people were hoping this year. And that's not to knock Riley. Riley Van Poppel, Lefatu, if he's still here, Williams Nwaneri, he would be another one. Whoever they think the jack linebacker is going to be, whether it's McGahee or it's Dylan Rogers or whatever they want to do, they have to develop those players. And then you heard John Butler say it, they have to go out and get a larger guy. And we've talked about this all year. So I think they have to go out, and he didn't say anything to me about it. So it's pretty obvious to me they need to go out and get a 320-pound fire hydrant.
You know what aggravates me about that? Is fudge. While it may be true, don't let yourself off the hook in the meantime. You don't have it. Coach it different. Like, lots of teams stop the run, Sam, and don't have a 320-pounder. Coach it different. You can't be waiting for the cavalry to come in the meantime, and certainly don't say it out loud. That's my 2 cents on that, because you have some young guys that are clearly going to be a lot better, and they're going to continue to grow, and you still have games to win in the meantime. Like, and maybe that's just a DB thing. Maybe that's just a me thing, but I don't know, man. I didn't love it.
That he said that.
At least intimated.
That Butler said that. Oh, he didn't. He said.
Sam,
I guess he intimated it, but
yeah,
he said it.
Can I ask you a question?
I'm the one who asked him.
I know, but okay. I'm not going to split hairs. It seemed like
No,
he
he intimated.
intimated.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
it seemed like he intimated. He didn't say it.
Can I ask you a question about kind of that dynamic they're seeing? Because I would make the argument that if
Sam, you're supposed to say no.
you bring in a 320-pounder, but they play in the same way as the guys did this year, that actually doesn't get you anywhere. Like if they play with kind of the lack of violence that the defensive line played with at times this year, that having the extra 20 pounds probably doesn't help you that much. Is that fair?
Right. That's possible. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think you can coach it differently. I think, they want a movement defense, so they're going to have to think about all those things too. Like if you want a defense that maybe you have a different scheme, or maybe you choose to play it a little bit differently. Maybe you have a four-man front. I mean, Iowa isn't using a 325-pound guy, but they have a four-man front. And so, when you have a four-man front, you can have a Khalil Davis at 297 or whatever it is. And Nebraska was using a four-man front, and a three-man front, and a five-man front. They're trying to do all kinds of things.
Well, Indiana seems to do it just fine.
They do. They do. I think Indiana had some good football players in their program when Cignetti got there. That helps them, and they have a very, very good middle linebacker. So I think linebacker play helps too. Like linebackers can help a defensive line look better than that defensive line might be, and I think that's probably part of what happened on this season. Is their linebacker play can get better. I think the loss of John Bullock, and I think Javen Wright had a good season for sure, but the loss of John Bullock is a big deal, and they kind of underplayed it. And the loss of MJ Sherman was a big deal.
Really big.
He didn't come up much this year.
Really big.
From in anybody's conversation, but his ability to set the edge. So he was the edge setter. Whatever the larger goal was with adding McCullough, I don't know that they got all the way there. And he's a great guy,
If I had McCullough one more year. Sam, let me ask you something.
But they don't,
I know, right?
They took him knowing what was going to happen.
Yeah. Let me ask you something, Sam. If you're kind of looking at this deal and you're watching the way that it played out against Iowa, and I said in the pregame, and I said it to Ravi last week, and I want to know what your thoughts were, if you can be revisionist here. I said in a game like this, where you running is going to be at a premium, I still think it may boil down, if you take care of the ball, it may boil down to 50-50 balls and winning outside the numbers. I get it. You got a chance to see the game, but could I have sold you on that if you hadn't watched the game played out? Because I think it absolutely played out in that way to some degree.
Repeat the first part of that question.
Winning 50-50 balls was going to be paramount, even outside the numbers, even though you were playing two teams that wanted to run the ball.
Yes. Yep. If you're talking Nebraska's defense to those offenses, yes.
And both ways. Nebraska's offense.
Yeah, both ways.
Yeah, both ways. Because that's how I saw SC come back against Iowa, right? Like Maeva, he just said, "Hey guys, go win this." They weren't open, right? But they won those balls.
For sure. What I would say, Damon, is I asked Rule about this in the postgame. I guess I didn't ask it in the right way. I said, "Were your receivers competitive enough?" And he thought I meant effort, and I didn't mean that. I meant when the ball was in the air, did they do everything they could do to go win that play? And I didn't feel like they did. And so that was certainly an issue. And again, it's a program that that's put a lot of time and energy into recruiting transfer portal receivers. And so, one of those guys as a captain, your captain's got to go and make plays on senior day. And so I just think there's some things that they can work on. And we haven't even begun the conversation about Dylan Raiola versus TJ Lateef. Because is there a conversation to be had there? Yes, there is. There is. And it's going to probably come to a head in the next several weeks. You got to figure out if Dylan Raiola is going to be here. because that does change the way that you want to do things. And I think, you can look at it a couple of different ways, but setting that conversation aside, this is a program that still needs to be really, really good up front on both sides of the ball. They have to root their identity there. And I think there's still an understanding that I think you guys back in the day had with Colorado. Back then it would have been Colorado. Have to understand the level of hatred and whatever that the other team has for you. And I know Colorado hated you guys, and I think it was reciprocal the other way. And I just don't know that Nebraska really grasps yet how much whatever Iowa has for this game. Like it's serious. And I still feel like Nebraska's still like, yeah, it's a big game, and let's talk about seniors and guys who are hurt. No, man, this has got to be a game where it's like it's got to be more than that. And I think Iowa treats it like that. I listened to PJ Fleck do a press conference 2 weeks ago, and he said we have 3 rival games, and actually Nebraska's a rival. And I'm like, yeah, they are. To that guy, for whatever reason, he has an insane amount of energy focused on beating Nebraska. PJ Fleck does. And so, like, understanding what these other teams feel about you and matching their intensity and matching their whatever for 4 quarters is the next step for Nebraska. And I actually feel like Rule kind of got this program there in his first year, and it feels like they slid back a little bit. So you wonder what happened.
Yeah, I think a lot of those guys were just they weren't ready to know better. Listen, it's not an excuse. That's an explanation. Like, I don't think, man, I'm just telling you, until you feel what it feels like to play against Iowa, you don't know. You could talk about it till you're blue in the face, man. They love kicking your teeth in. Mm-hmm. Like you just you have to understand what Minnesota enjoys doing when they're doing it. They play different against you than they did all year.
Yeah.
I asked Brandon Riley this 12 years ago, Sam, and he's like, "Oh no, like I get it. It's just different when you play those guys." And I'm like, it just is, and it's something I think you have to feel, and you think you know until it actually happens to you. Like when somebody hates you that much that they're willing to do whatever it takes to enjoy it. I mean, listen to how they talk. Like, yeah, there's just something about them enjoying what they do.
I think Nebraska's got to reach that. And again, I actually thought in year one, the way that Nebraska hit in its first game against Minnesota and its last game against Iowa, it's like, you know what? The offense is a mess. You feel for Jeff Sims. He never quite figured it out. He got hurt, all these other things. Heinrich Harburg gave every last ounce of sweat that he had. The offense is a mess. But once they fix that, they got the other thing, which is they'll hit you and they'll hurt you. And it felt like this year that actually eroded a little bit. And I think that's something that's probably the byproduct of a younger defense up front. But it's Emmett Johnson best exemplified that I will do anything I have to do in order to make a play. And again, that for whatever reason, his teammates didn't identify that before the season.
Whoa. You mean as the season went on or before the season?
Before the season.
You don't think that they understood what they needed to do?
What teammates didn't elect him a captain.
Oh, you're talking about captaincy. Being appreciative of what he brought to the table.
Right.
Okay.
Thought a transfer wide receiver brought more. And maybe that's you got too many receivers and too many DBs, and they tilt the voting log, and you got to tweak that. I'm not kidding. Like, you can't. That happened. Like,
this is an interesting.
That can happen.
I never thought about it until you just said it.
Yeah,
I get it. I'm not down on you.
If you got 24 DBs or whatever,
just the whole. I don't know. You know what I think?
That's the area where it's like you're going to have, you have your first year of captains. You got 6 of them.
Here's the thing.
3 are DBs, and one is the quarterback, one is a receiver who just got there, and one is an offensive lineman. You don't have Javen Wright's been there 7 years. He's not one of those guys.
Do you know what I think it is?
You know
what I think it
the
is?
numbers of players on the team that are represented at those positions.
No,
that's why you gotta tweak that formula, and you can't just
Would you like to listen to another hypothesis?
Yes, I do.
I think separating right, wrong, or indifferent, separating Emmett from Dylan preseason was tough for the team to do. So I think if you voted for Dylan, it in essence was validating EJ because they're together all the time. You didn't see Dylan without EJ, whether it was social media, whether it was in public. So I think Dylan not being around as he's going through rehab and being hurt gave you a different level of appreciation for Emmett because he then became a standalone figure. That's my hypothesis, you smart guys.
That's insight that no one else.
No, you can think about that, Sam. You saw the goddamn off season.
Yeah,
they were together everywhere. The TikToks,
but like I wouldn't have. I can tell you what, I would not have thought of that. Like I wouldn't have thought that. I thought it was more. Well, we're not actually quite sure. Like the team wasn't quite sure that Emma was as good as he was. And so
well, I don't think anybody. You're right. Like I don't think anybody thought that. To be honest, I mean, nobody saw one of 50 guys in the last 80 years to do something. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. So, like, I think, and I'm not trying to say the players made bad decisions. Actually, they're logical if you give the roster numbers. But my point being that, like, I feel like, Emmett Johnson was kind of the heart and the soul of what was going on there in the last half of the season. And he got his accolades, and I think Matt Rule pushed for an awards campaign, which I thought was good. And I laud that. And I just feel like the program's got to keep coming in that area. And when you go back to the time when you played, of course, Tommy Frazier was a major, major person in that program. But,
you thought it may be a popularity vote?
94 captains were Terry Keneally, Ed Stewart, Zach Wiegert, and Rob Zatcher. Now, what's that team built on?
That's a pretty good bunch. Up front.
Yeah. And Ed Stewart, who, was tough as nails. Like, what that team's built on. You know why that, and so, like, that's my point, is that, of course, there were incredible skilled players at Nebraska that would dominate today in the 90s. You know them. You were one of them. But the programs were, I remember every whatever day it was, Monday or Tuesday, press conference in 97, Grant Wisdom and Jason Peter went up there together. And what you did is you spent more anticipation waiting for what those two guys were going to say about the week than you did Coach Osborne, because Coach Osborne was steady Eddie, whereas these two guys were going to tell you what it actually was going to be about.
And I was going to say I hate it. I don't hate it, but the closer your dogs are to the line of scrimmage, the better your team's going to be. And that's not taking anything away from running backs or defensive backs or anybody else. But the closer your dogs are to the ball, the better off you're going to be.
And Ty Robinson was obviously that guy last year, and he did a good job. But I remember, too, like Dylan's dad coming into the media room, and I think it was 99, and he commanded the same kind of – he's like, I hate them. And, like, he probably didn't hate them to the core.
I don't know. Do you remember him after Northwestern in that bowl game?
Yeah.
Like, he almost lost his mind.
Yeah. And so, like, but you waited for Dominic to come in the room and then hear what he had to say. And they'd be like, okay, well, this is what this week's about. Because you knew that the player, it was just a whole different kind of era. Like when D'Angelo Evans left the team that season, early in the season, you got guys coming out and saying, this is what it's about and this is what it's going to be. And you had, guys, defensive linemen talking about it, and this is what the culture is going to be. And like, it was just a whole different kind of era. And now it feels like a little bit like everybody's kind of, hey, we got to say the right things. Again, I just think they got to get to the point where if it's a player-led program, you got to have some whatever in there. They're very tough. It's a very tough program. Nebraska's a much tougher team than it was in the Frost or Riley era. It is. It's just
there's no question.
The Big Ten is so
question.
hard. Like, it's so hard. It's so much harder than than the Big 12. And so like you have to like Penn State, it plays with this incredible edge against Nebraska, and then they needed luck to beat Rutgers because Rutgers is still fighting. And, you know, Michigan State fired its coach after he beat Maryland. Like,
I love how
coaches
people,
get
I
fired
love
right
how
and left.
even former players who should know better use like the linear or the transitive property in games. Like, it's like, listen, man, you can't compare Penn State to Rutgers to Penn State and Nebraska at home on senior night. But anyway, let me get you out on this, Sam, because I love monopolizing your time because you have nothing else better to do. 2-1 here. You get the Golish, the Kiffin, the Summerall. You get the hires.
Fitzgerald,
which
not official, but
Thief in the Night, maybe. I'll save Fitz until it's official. You don't have to rank them, but you can talk about the jobs. And you think Bama should be automatically in?
No, I don't.
I don't either.
No, Alabama shouldn't. No,
I don't either. It's like it's a foregone conclusion that there are 10 or 11, and I'm like, are you guys being serious? If Georgia wins, they shouldn't be in. Unless it's like a less second. I mean, I shouldn't say that, but it's for me. They're closer to not being in than they should be closer to being in. I'll say that.
Right. Vis-a-vis compared to like Miami or something, yeah, they should be in. I think the comparison piece that they lose is Texas, and Texas has the loss to Ohio State, and Texas has a loss to Georgia, and a loss to Florida. But Texas has wins over Texas A&M and Oklahoma at a neutral site, and Vanderbilt. Alabama has wins over Vanderbilt, Missouri at Missouri. That was a good win, and at Georgia. So the question becomes, it's very, very close. And if you're going to tell me to pick one and just like I'm just watching the football programs, I would pick Texas. But that's assuming that Alabama loses to Georgia by 10 or 17 or something. So that would be my assumption. I like Texas a little bit more than I like. Alabama,
I did like Sark going to bat though. I didn't mind, even though I think he's nuts.
No, yeah, I don't mind that at all. I think the real question will be, okay, let's say BYU beats Texas Tech by 3. I think Texas Tech belongs in the playoff, and BYU would be the automatic qualifier for it. To be clear, I don't think BYU is going to win that game. I don't, but they could, and if they did, then what does that look like? I would not put Miami in. It's unfortunate. The ACC's got to reform its ways, which I assume it will. It has too few conference games, so it can't suss those things out. As far as the coaching hires are concerned, I guess I'd say that the one that appeals to me the most is at Auburn with Golish, but
he gives them some immediate toughness. Like he's kind of no nonsense.
Yes,
that's a surprisingly good hire for them.
There'll be a physical component to that. Kentucky hired Will Stein, which is I think they did, or at least he seemed to put something out that he was going there, which I think is a pretty good hire for Kentucky. And then you have LSU and Lane Kiffin, and I think that's an interesting hire, and he's obviously a hell of a play caller, and apparently a really good recruiter.
Have to do it out of the portal now.
Nope. So we'll see what he's able to do there, and he obviously left Ole Miss in a weird spot, and he'll have to make up for that. I think Pat Fitzgerald at Michigan State if that happens, is at least puts Michigan State in the conversation for outslugging you. Because I think that's something that Fitzgerald will build into the culture of that program, and they'll play defense and they'll be tough. But we'll see. He's been out of the game for a couple of years. However people feel about his departure from the game, when he comes back in, is he, and he's doing it for a program he didn't play for, what does that look like? And is he able to get? And then who's Penn State going to hire? So if Penn State hires Kalani Sitake, I think that would be For the most part, I appreciate the way BYU plays. I think BYU has a long-term reputation of being a dirty team. Certainly, they were in the one game they played against Nebraska 11 years ago. But he can coach, and so if that's the way they want to go, then I think that would work for Penn State. I don't know if they'd win a title based on that. I think best hire so far appears to be Virginia Tech and James Franklin. I think James Franklin will recruit his mind out of his mind there, and he will do literally everything he can to win really big there. He is driven by some sort of chip on his shoulder that I don't know that anyone, especially me, understands. And I think he will do very well at Virginia Tech. I think he will push that program as hard as it possibly can go, and they will win games because of that.
That is Sam McKEWON from the Omaha World Herald. Sam, appreciate the time as always. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, take care.
Thanks, Sam. Well, we kept him a long time.
We did, and we need to take a break here, but I need to.
Who's crying, Austin and Rico?
No, just in general. We're at one break, and we're almost 2 hours in here, so
that's fine. Austin posted a picture of me holding somebody else's dog at a basketball game. I don't appreciate that. I feel like I've been framed.
We need to talk about the Pat Fitzgerald of it all at some point here.
I think the coaching hires are fascinating.
I love the coaching hires. Let's get into them.
Do you?
I love the season of the process of coaching hires.
You like chaos.
I think it's fascinating what people value and what they're looking for. It's a nice thought experiment in kind of just what programs think they are and what they want to be. I like all of that. All right. Listen.
2 breaks. Let's go.
Need to talk about Pat Fitzgerald. It's Hurrdat Sports Live coming up next.
Man, we got a talented group, and it's a talented group that love each other and support each other. Kiara Reinhardt's don't grow on trees, even though she's really tall. But her leadership for this team is just incredible. To have someone with her experience, and obviously, again, she is a very good volleyball player. She was just drafted in the first round of the pro draft, but who she is as a leader and a person is just even more important. And then Ava Martin's a pretty good person to have on your roster too. We know in crunch moments, she's going to step up, she's going to shine, and Anna really does a nice job finding her in those. Again, just last week at Marquette, game was on the line, 3-set points. I think Ava Martin went kill to win that set. And so I love having that. And then our freshmen have stepped up. Our newcomers have come in, and even just now, Anna walked by me a minute ago, and I gave her a little welcome to the NCAA tournament, because we do have players on our team, even fifth years, that have never been before. So her and Eloise Brandewie, coming from Ohio State, has never been to an NCAA tournament as well. And so such a special moment for even our older ones that have never been there before.
Yeah, kind of like Andy said, it's a whole new season for everyone, and I feel like even we kind of feel new and refreshed. Like the Big Ten season is behind us now, and now we can focus on our next few games. But I think just coming in with experience is a lot. Like, we know the deal of practice, we know how the tournament works, we know how the Final Four works, and we know we want to get there. So I think for the upperclassmen, it's good for us because we've been here before, and we can help explain that and just guide the underclassmen, because it can be a lot your first year. So it's exciting, but I know we're excited to get started tomorrow and get started for the next few weeks.
Yeah, I thought, you could pretty much guess who the top 4 seeds were going to be, but after that, it could have gone a number of ways. So I think from 5 to 16, like who's going to host, and I thought it would be pretty interesting.
Do you reckon seeing Louisville in your quadrant?
Yeah, I'm not shocked by that, just based on how their season ended up going, and then I feel like they always love a good story if they can justify it. So that, again, wasn't too surprising.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, reminding you, maybe you got into a little trouble driving on the snow over the past couple days. If that's the case, Dingman's Collision Center has you covered. If you got banged up a little bit, they can get things right. They've been voted first place Best of Omaha for 20 straight years, and it's because they invest in cutting-edge technology and ongoing training so that their teams make sure every repair is of the highest standard and done safely. Go ahead and check them out, dingmans.com. They've got you covered no matter what you need. DB, I want to talk about coaches a little bit here. We've been very Nebraska-centric today, which I understand.
I do not.
We have a lot of time to get into Nebraska stuff for the whole year, for the whole offseason. I would like to talk about some of the coaching hires here. You brought it up with Sam, so I feel like you gave me an opening.
I like how you have to rationalize your weirdness.
I'm gonna hit the, we're gonna hit the A gap there. Can we have a conversation about Pat Fitzgerald?
Okay.
Because
of all the hires, you want to start with the notion that he may be potentially on the move?
It seems like, it seems like it's happening. Like that.
Jonathan Smith seems like a better resume than Pat Fitzgerald.
So I'm just going to read you off a couple numbers here with Pat Fitzgerald, okay? Can we agree that the COVID season was very strange and hard to know what to make of it?
Yep, I would not count it if I were you.
I haven't been with anyone, good or bad,
to
anyone. Like, same thing with Michigan when they were bad in the COVID year. I'm like, I don't know what to do with it. We're throwing it out. So the last 3 –
no one holds that against Harbaugh.
The last – as well, they shouldn't. That was just like nobody knows what to do with that year. The last 3 non-COVID seasons for Pat Fitzgerald at Northwestern, do you know how many wins they had combined?
So
it's 2019, 2021, 2022. 3 full years because he got fired in the offseason.
I will say 14 wins.
That is double how many wins he had. He had 7 wins in 3 years, the non-COVID year. To get to 14, you have
conference?
No,
or overall?
Total. He was 3-9, 3-9, 1-11.
Oh,
I hate that. Do you know how many conference wins he had in those 3 years?
2.
3. 1-8, 1-8, 1-8.
Huh.
He was 3-24 in this very conference, which he allegedly is returning to, and had 7 wins over 3 years. If you would like to include the COVID year, that's how you get to 14. Which even then, 14 wins in 4 years, I don't know if you know this, not great. Not ideal.
Well, kind of like my wrist.
Yeah, what'd you do?
You want to look at my knuckles.
What are you doing?
I think it's broke.
Do you go all Rocky? You go to one of those meat packing plants you like so much and start beating up a side of beef or what?
I don't know, man. I think it's broke.
Like, am I on an? I feel like I'm on an island here.
I'm not even left-handed, but I need power.
Of just assuming, or not assuming, that Pat Fitzgerald's gonna just jump right back in.
It's just weird that like that's your.
Because it's the biggest, it's the biggest outlier from the way people talk about him to what it actually was before he got fired.
Yeah, I could understand that a little bit.
7 wins in 3 years is horrific. 3-24. Somebody in my mentions yesterday, because first of all, I think Jonathan Smith's a good coach, and I thought he got done a little dirty with 2 years and out.
I think he's a good coach too.
2 years and out at Michigan State is wild, especially considering the place that Mel Tucker left that program. Like, that was
Where have we found Mel Tucker yet?
No, I think he's still in litigation trying to get some of his money.
Wasn't he weren't they trying to find him? I'm sure he's somewhere, but he had disappeared. I don't think I'm exaggerating.
You might not be, but as soon as that check cleared, he probably got out of Dodge.
I don't know.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, there is, I thought Jonathan Smith did a little dirty. I get that it hadn't looked great. I also understand what he inherited. Like, Mel Tucker didn't build anything. I get he had the one really good year, but he was doing transfer class. He's basically doing the Mike Norvell thing down at Florida State. We see how well that works when it doesn't work, right? And he had not built anything. If anybody ever ends up taking over that Florida State job, they're going to have such a terrible time rebuilding that thing because of how Mike Norvell has gone about his business. There is no foundation whatsoever. That's where Michigan State was with Mel Tucker. I'm not saying Jonathan Smith was going to turn it around, but you saw it took him 4 years at Oregon State. You probably should have known this was a slow burn.
Yeah, he went 210, 5'7", 210, or 2.5. All right, we're scratching
COVID year.
210, 5'7", 7'6", 10'3", 8'4". It's pretty good.
Yeah.
At Oregon State. Ooh, for a little bit, didn't even have a conference.
Yeah, really, really good. And it took 3-4 years to make it happen. I get that.
Michigan State 0-7 and 4-8.
The 0-7 is because it was 5-7.
I know.
That's a nonsense.
I know they didn't get the wins.
Well, and it wasn't his fault. They hit him for the Mel Tucker stuff.
No, I understand.
How are you taking away his wins for the Mel Tucker stuff?
No, I know. So 5-7,
4-8.
He's
not great. Not good, right? I get that. But 2 years?
No, I understand. I'm actually with you on that.
So, and to assume that a guy that went 3-9, 3-9, 1-11 in his last 3 years in this very same conference is kind of baffling to me, just assuming he's going to be better. Now, I know people will be like, oh, but Ravi, it's Northwestern. You know how hard it is? That's the same argument people made about Mike Riley. The people that liked the hire, which it was more national than local. Not very many people locally liked the hire. To be fair,
I didn't mind it.
But that was the argument, was imagine what he could do at a place where it's easier to win.
Yeah, that's what I said, yeah.
Right? That's what anybody who was trying to be positive about the hire said. He was better than this at Oregon State. I don't know. The Pat Fitzgerald thing, and maybe he'll win. Maybe he will. I don't know. I feel like it's a really large assumption. Somebody in my mention said, if only we were so lucky, as if Nebraska.
Well, there's no way we would stand for it.
What are we talking about?
There's not we can't let everything get you mad.
What are we talking about? The perception of Pat Fitzgerald is so far away from the reality of what we saw the last 3 years. I don't know what, I don't even know what to do with it.
Can I just ask you about a couple of other hires?
Yeah. I don't want to stay on Pat Fitzgerald forever. I just had to get that. I had to get that out.
I don't know if he has the job yet.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he does, but
yeah, I'm sure, but I'll wait. Listen, I waited on Trev till the 11th hour and 45th minute.
Fair, yeah, that's fair.
There's real time. Real time things going on there.
Who else you want to ask me about?
Did Lane chase the bag? It's clear, in my opinion, who he was getting advice from.
It was Saban.
Had to be.
It was Saban and Pete Carroll, I think.
Had to be Saban.
Yeah.
Maybe some degree Carroll. I'm sure both.
I think he said he talked to Carroll, or somebody said he talked to Carroll. I don't know how true it is, but I think they both told him to go to LSU.
it's going to be really, really, really interesting.
So I don't know if he chased the bag. But I'm also the guy that said I think LSU is the best job in the country. So if I think that, then
I don't hope you're right, but I want you to be right.
Why?
Because I don't agree with you.
That's fine. I think it's the best job in the country. The governor thing freaks me out a little bit, like of how involved they got in sort of this process. But I think it is the best job in the country. I think it is and I say that because I think it's the place where the expectations and the ability to meet those expectations
are the closest.
The closest.
Okay.
Like I think the ability to meet expectations at LSU is everything that they expect is right there for you to go get.
Even though we have no idea, and maybe we shouldn't, but even though we have no idea what their financial situation looks like.
I'm basing on the guys they get, it seems like it's okay.
Yeah. Does seem to be that way.
You know, like that's all I can base it on, really, because we don't know.
No, I get it.
So, like, if you're going and getting like dudes, I assume you're cool financially. Maybe that's a bad assumption, but that's all I can guess. Like, if you go out and get guys, I just assume you got money.
I mean, are they actually getting paid?
I have no idea.
I don't think he loved having to do his work in the portal.
So that was the thing that Saban brought up on, I think it was Game Day.
I don't watch Game Day.
I just saw a clip of it on
the
internet. The thing that he brought up, and this was, I don't know if he was talking directly to Lane or if he'd already said this to him. He brought up at Ole Miss, it seems like Lane Kiffin, to get that caliber of player on a consistent basis, has to go portaling every year. He goes, at LSU, that is not the case. You can get whoever you want out of high school.
Yeah, I would agree.
And to me, that's more sustainable. And I think that was Saban's point. It's more sustainable to be like, hey, I can go get this guy out of high school and go get that caliber of dude whenever I want.
How confident are you, considering you can get a guy like Chambliss to be functional?
I'd be pretty confident.
I'd be pretty confident.
That's a guy that was D2.
And remember, 3 years ago, this dude had 3 starters at quarterback on his roster.
Yeah. Yeah. Now,
like, remember when we wondered if Jackson Dart was going to win the job?
Yes. Here, can I ask this question, though? Can we have to give credit for the Trinidad Chambliss thing, right? But at the same time, don't we have to also be like, well, how come we couldn't get Austin Simmons to be functional?
True. But I think quarterbacks are weird.
I do too.
I think quarterbacks are one of the positions, if not the position, that until you actually see them under duress, you don't know what you're getting.
Totally fair.
I think quarterbacks are such a crapshoot eval, it's not even funny.
I would agree. And to be fair, his track record would indicate he's incredible at this with quarterbacks, right?
Yeah.
So, but I just wanted to put that out there. Austin Simmons was on this team too. We thought he was going to be good and wasn't, right? So just for fairness, if he gets credit for Trinidad, he probably deserves a little blame for Austin Simmons as well. Especially since Austin Simmons has spent dramatically more time around him than Trinidad Chambliss did.
If you're ranking the hiring cycle so far, are you going Virginia Tech, then
I think I probably
Auburn, or Virginia Tech LSU, or LSU Virginia Tech?
I think I probably go LSU, then Virginia Tech, because I'm a Lane guy. You know that. I always have been.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great fit for a guy at that job.
Who gives 2 cares who's going to do it his way?
Yeah, absolutely. But Franklin at Virginia Tech is really close. I will say I thought it was a very mature hire by Auburn to go get a guy that's actually good and not just say, well, we want to go get sexy name A or whatever, right? Like, I thought it was one of the better moves they've made in a while.
I understand.
Let's take a quick break here. We're going to talk to Brent SOBLESKI coming up next. He's an NFL analyst for Bleacher Report. Got to get a little bit into the league. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
I'll be the first to say that that's unacceptable. And I certainly understand. I certainly understand how that feels to all the great fans that we have. The student section that's full. People come to the game, and I understand their disappointment. I understand our team's disappointment. I think when you end the season the way we have the last 2 games, it has to rest solely on me. And I've loved this team. I love everything about them. I certainly didn't think today would go that way. Thought we came out ready to play, and in the end, they were the better football team. So I don't shirk that. I own that. I'm responsible for it. I understand that in times like this, it can get a little bit negative, and I just say honestly, all that should all be directed at me. I don't want the players to panic. It shouldn't go towards them. It shouldn't go towards the coach. I think it has to fall on me. We want to be a team that gets better at the end of the year, and these last 2 games have not been that. So I take that. I own that.
Speaking of Lexi Rodriguez, she's the all-time digs leader at Nebraska. Now, who did she pass?
She was a coach at, I can't remember what was it? Kayla Banworth?
Not Kayla Banworth, and she's an Olympian.
Wong.
Good job.
I don't know.
I'll give you a hint. She's an Olympian.
Jordan Larson.
Not quite Jordan.
I was going to say Jordan Larson.
Miss Wong.
No, believe me, we talked about that before the game, and certainly talked about it after the game. For whatever reason, in this building, we've not gotten off to the type of starts that we need to get our incredible crowd behind us. And on the road, we've gotten off to really good starts when we went and played in those neutral site games. And it's just not carrying over right now here. And then I just didn't like our resolve tonight and our resiliency when they threw the first punch. And a team like that, they're going to milk the clock when they get a lead, and they built that thing up to double digits. And I just didn't like our toughness. And they were chasing us and warring us through screens, which we're going to see, especially in these next 3 games. And I just didn't like how we handled it. And, we just kind of had that deer in headlights look. And finally, we had 1 deflection in 9 minutes. That's pathetic. And finally, we got it going a little bit. And it started with Kale's deflection, and it started with Braden Frager's block. And that got us going in transition. It got Price going. And I think we went in a 17-0 run to finish that half and to get the lead.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Vikings looking for the end zone. Instead, it's a 4th interception, and Rick Rowland has his eyes set on a big return. Breaks a tackle and takes it across the 35. Lost the football. Let's see if it changes hands again. 5 Minnesota turnovers. From bad to worse today, but they've got it back.
And he turns it upfield for a first down. Still going. Kamani back down the sideline, and he has a touchdown.
From 56 yards out, his career long is 58. And Falk's kick is good. He's a folk hero at MetLife Stadium.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centrist Federal Credit Union. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by Brent SOBLESKI. He is an NFL analyst for Bleacher Report. Brent, how are we doing this morning?
Doing well, and feeling like my world's been turned upside down after this weekend's play.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, well, tell us where to start then. What's confounding you the most?
A little bit of everything, because I think everything we thought we knew, we don't, apparently. Whether it be the Los Angeles Rams making the trek to Carolina and being physically beat by the Panthers, or the AFC South basically imploding, maybe is not the right term, but essentially muddied the waters entirely. It was exceptional to see how that the any given Sunday mentality shows up in the NFL, and we often see outcomes we're not expecting and how it can completely change the NFL, which I think the biggest point coming out of it is this is a wide open year, gentlemen. There's no one that's dominant, and that's what makes it fun to watch week in and week out.
That's funny. A couple weeks ago, I told Ravi, I said, seeding is going to matter more now than ever because I could see two teams winning, or I could see a team winning a couple of games in a row with a bye. I don't know who I could see winning 3 games in a row to get to the big dance. So playing one less game this year may be paramount in the grand scheme of things. But let me ask you this. Who's closest to what their record says they are? The Chicago Bears or the Jacksonville Jaguars?
I would argue the Chicago Bears because fundamentally they do the things that travel, right, that we talk about all the time. They have a good defense that's getting healthy now. They had their entire secondary in place finally.
They take the ball away.
And they take the ball away, absolutely. And they run the football. I don't know if you guys have watched recently, but they are dominating at the line of scrimmage. When you had both DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai, who's just been superb as a rookie, they both ran for 125 or more yards this past game. So when you do those things and then you start sprinkling in the things that Caleb Williams can do from a playmaking perspective, as long as he's reined in and working within the scheme overall, that team is actually very good, and I think it has what it takes to continue to win and be a legitimate threat.
So how close is Jacksonville to being 8-4? Because every week I ask our national guys, is Jacksonville good?
Well, we'll find out this coming weekend. I think it's just a gigantic game with the Colts skidding a little bit and Jacksonville ascending and then them facing each other. Now, mind you, the Colts haven't won in Jacksonville since, I'm trying to remember what year it was. It's like 2008. Let's put it this way. Andrew Luck was still the quarterback of the Colts at that time. That's the last time they won in Jacksonville. So to give you an idea how big that game is, but when you just look at Jacksonville, the quotes coming out of those games are almost always the same. We're happy we won, but we can be better. Well, yeah, you can. We can watch it and see that you're making mistakes, and it's coming down to the type of plays that you need to make, but at the same time, you don't want to be in the position to make every single week. Now, they did dominate against the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans are the worst team in football, but at the same time, this is the first time in 5 weeks that Trevor Lawrence didn't throw an interception. So either he's trending in the right direction or it's just because he faced the Tennessee Titans. I don't have that answer yet, and I think we'll find out next week against the Colts.
Okay, so let's talk about another team that is playing well, winning a decent amount, but doesn't seem like anybody really loves them. But for them, it's mostly an injury issue, and that's the 49ers. How close to actually being their record of 9-4 do you think they are?
I think they're a good team because they're well coached, right? That's something you always know with the San Francisco 49ers. They're going to be prepared. They're going to have a good game plan, and they're going to be a team that's not going to make massive blunders throughout a contest. That speaks a lot to Kyle Shanahan and his staff, but also how smart their team is as a whole. Now, obviously, as you rightly pointed out, you do not have Fred Warner. You do not have Nick Bosa. So how do you continue to progress? Now, Bosa's slack's been picked up a little bit by Bryce Huff, who's played well. And so you have that aspect. You're never going to truly replace a Fred Warner, so you just adjust. And they have a good defensive coordinator in Robert Saleh. So I am confident in their approach because we know it can be successful. Now, is it Super Bowl successful? That has yet to be proven. And considering the talent losses, probably not. But I do think they are good enough to continue on this track that they're on and to make some potential noise in the NFC.
If a team was going to tell you that they're pretty good when healthy and you thought they had a realistic shot at getting healthy, would you take Buffalo or Tampa Bay?
Ooh, well, I would say if they could get healthy, I'd say Tampa Bay because that brings back Mike Evans, which obviously is not going to happen. I just like that team overall because they went through so much transition because of those injuries throughout the middle of the season, and yet they bounced back, right? and you have Baker Mayfield, and you now have Godwin back in your lineup. And so I think that team, and plus they're throwing touchdowns to talented left tackles, which is always a positive in my mind. So I really like Tampa, and now they have Bucky Irving back in the lineup as well. I think that's a team that can get back to where they were after sputtering for a little bit.
Let's stay in the NFC South there for a second.
I don't know if you've looked at their IR list. Tampa's incredible with what they're playing without sometimes.
100%. It's a team that was decimated. I mean, legitimately decimated here midway through the season, considering how well they were playing to start. But guys have stepped up, right? Whether you're talking about Ibuka or Tez Johnson. Tez Johnson is a 7th-round pick that a lot of people thought was too small and too slow to succeed in the NFL, and he's playing well. And Bucky Irvin, a lot of people thought he was too small to be an NFL running back. Look, he's an RB1 in Tampa Bay, right? They know how to identify talent, and it shows with the way are able to compete even with those issues.
So let's stay in the NFC South there for a second. What on earth do you make of the Carolina Panthers? Obviously,
I was just going to ask about it. Speaking of wide receivers, Ted McMillan.
Ted McMillan had the big game-winning touchdown catch yesterday against the Rams. Obviously, that's a huge win, but I don't. Is it just mentally we can't get ourselves around the idea that they might be okay, or what do you see there with Carolina and their path to maybe challenging a banged-up Tampa Bay team for that NFC South title?
I don't think it's a mental block. I think it was legitimized throughout the ups and downs we've seen through Bryce Young's early portions of his career, right?
Mm-hmm.
While we all know that he has excelled late in games, youngest quarterback ever to help lead his team to 11 comeback victories at this point in his career, that's an amazing stat. His team believes in him, clearly. But we saw through multiple, essentially 2.5 seasons where he struggled at points, and they essentially built an offense in spite of him, right? You're handing the ball to Rico Dowdell. You're handing the ball to Chuba Hubbard. You're leaning on the offensive line. You're playing defense. You're doing everything so your quarterback doesn't have to win you the game. And it worked. But now we're starting to see that turn a little bit in the last couple of weeks. Young has played exceptionally well, and we need to acknowledge that. And as long as he continues to play in that vein, they become very dangerous. I don't know if he will because of what I said previously with his inconsistencies, but at least as of late, Young has played exceptionally well and deserves the credit for how the team's at least last 2 wins.
Brent, what's the Colts' ceiling?
Well, you got me a bit stunted on that one because it's a team that I've watched them a lot this season because of them being the surprise team in the AFC, and they have everything it takes to win at a high level, right? Considering what Daniel Jones has done, knowing how that they're ready to keep him and move forward with him, and he's played well, right? I mean, we can't question his toughness after playing with a fractured fibula this past weekend, and he wasn't the reason they lost by any means. But the concern
and he was
is
still running around.
Yes,
what the?
The touchdown throw to Tyler Warren was a rollout, to give you an idea. But to me, my concern is not doing the little things lately that's cost them games. They had Kansas City on the ropes, lost. They had an opportunity to win yesterday, lost. Now some people will say officiating was horrible. I'm not going to argue that. But when you're still making mistakes, like a missed extra point, a fumble inside the 5-yard line on a designed tush-push with your tight end, and so a drop third down pass when the game's on the line, you can't make those mistakes, especially when you're in the better part of your schedule against tougher teams, and they have. And that's really my concern. The ability and the talent is there. I think the coaching can be there, but the execution hasn't been as of late, which limits them overall.
All right, stay with me here. What is the ceiling for the Kansas City Chiefs?
The ceiling is they can still win a Super Bowl.
You think?
Will they? I absolutely do. When you've seen them play at their best this year, they've been better than any team in the NFL. The problem is that has been so rare comparative to what we're used to that it's just not feasible at this juncture. So while I say they have the ability to do it, I'm not stating that they will do so. In fact, their turnaround on how poorly they've played in close contests, 1-6 now this season, has really shown a light on maybe the inadequacies we see within their roster. Patrick Mahomes has actually played exceptionally well in recent weeks. Travis Kelce has come back alive, but yet they're still losing games. And for example, this past week, they were physically run over, and they weren't good at the point of attack. So if you're not doing those little things in the fundamentals, it doesn't matter how good you are in other areas, you are going to be inconsistent, and that's exactly what Kansas City is at this moment.
Who do you look at and say maybe they're – I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this without having it being a leading question. Who do you look at and say maybe their record is way better than you think they are?
Well, we already mentioned Jacksonville.
Sure. I thought you may say Chicago, but you like them.
I do like Chicago. If I'm leaning one way in that regard, it's probably Denver, to be quite honest with you. I like their defense.
Kind of what I thought. That's kind of who I had in mind.
Man,
I like their defense.
They're pretty good.
They are good, and there's no denying it, right? They're number one seed in the AFC right now, depending on what happens in New England tonight. But at the same time, I am not a believer, as it were. He's played well. He's made plays late in games specifically and deserves credit there. But that offense isn't playing the best complementary football you can expect from a team that's supposed to have the best record in the NFL. And that's kind of where I have my hesitation.
Brent, if you're taking a look at like teams that kind of, we have these questions and they say, yeah, and they get the benefit of the doubt. Do you like the Eagles in the NFC or the Patriots in the AFC? If you're going to give a team the benefit of the doubt.
I would lean towards the Patriots in this instance because Philadelphia is simply not playing well, right?
Huh.
When you look at
they've shown you they can light switch that thing, though, too. You're just not buying it.
No, I mean, have they? Because they've been telling us for weeks they're going to get the offense turned around, and it hasn't happened. So, I mean, it's literally been the number one story in Philadelphia for like 6 straight weeks. So that's why I question Philadelphia. Whereas I think what I like most about New England is Mike Vrabel. And I'm saying that as a positive, knowing full well that Mike Vrabel has never elevated Tennessee to that top tier. But what Mike Vrabel does is provide a very, very high floor because he has that Belichick approach to coaching. Much like when we were discussing earlier, you know that team's going to be prepared. You know they're going to come out and play physical. You know they're going to be ready for any situation that comes up during a game because that's what type of coach he is and that's how he sets up his team to succeed. Will they always overcome? Tennessee didn't under Vrabel. I like Drake May more obviously than Ryan Tannehill ever during that period, so he gives them a little bit of an X factor. When you put that all together, I really like what New England has done this year.
All right, let me ask you something. I don't know if this is blasphemy or not because he won a ton of Super Bowls. Which or any or all or in its totality, do you separate, we say, the Belichick way? Is this Belichick with Brady? Is this Belichick without Brady? Is this Belichick in New England differently? If I were Vrabel.
Certainly not Belichick in Carolina, right? We can all agree with that.
I don't know, like how. Listen, there's reverence for the greatness that Belichick was, but how do you discern which point in his career? Because he gets the all-encompassing reference, Belichick does. And I'm like, really? You know what I mean? Is that bad or, like, do I need to reevaluate that?
No, I understand. The argument's always going to be the most successful coach ever during the most difficult period to win in the NFL, right? That's what you're looking at. And his attention to detail, when Belichick was honed in and completely on his game, unlike where he is in North Carolina at the moment, no one was ever better at devising a game plan, seeing faults in other teams, and exploiting them. And that's so when you say Belichickian in that regard, I think it's a positive. That's why the way I'm trying to use it in regards to Vrabel, the amount of preparation, the understanding of situational football, having his team prepared. That's the positive for Vrabel. But let's not forget, Mike Vrabel never actually coached for Bill Belichick. He played for him.
Yeah, that's what I'm. And he's he's like 84 and 104 without Brady.
Yeah, and that's absolutely true. But hey, what do we say about the NFL? It's a quarterback-driven league, right? If you do not have one, you can't win. Look at Mike Tomlin.
And Vrabel's got one.
He does, absolutely. And I use Tomlin as an example because Steelers fans are very, very spoiled, and they've come to realize what life is like when you don't have a franchise quarterback, and it is not pretty. It doesn't matter how much talent you have. You can even point to Cleveland. You have the best player in the world right now, Myles Garrett, and it doesn't matter one lick. You have to have a quarterback. New England has one, and the one tie that you can say to Belichick in New England right now is Josh McDaniels. There's your real tie to Belichick, and I think he's done very well by Drake May and put that team in a position to succeed.
Okay, let me ask you this because Ravi asked me in our football group text. Well, it's multi-sport. Somebody in our group text said, "Are we sure Kevin Stefanski's a good coach?"
That was me.
Kevin Stefanski. Can we separate Stefanski with? I feel like it's wash, rinse, repeat with some of your answers about it being a quarterback-driven league. But they did move off of Mayfield pretty early.
Agreed, and I think he made a massive blunder as a coach during that entire period that led to the catastrophic decisions the organization made to move beyond Mayfield toward Deshaun Watson and so on and so forth. Because, and the reason I put the onus on the coach based on that landslide starting is, if you guys remember Baker Mayfield's final season in Cleveland, why did he play as poorly as he did? He was beat to living hell, right? His shoulder was messed up. He had a knee issue. It is a coach's responsibility to prevent a player from hurting himself. He should have pulled Baker Mayfield knowing how injured he was. He did not. He did not make that call. And he let the player make the decision because medical cleared him. That's not what you should do as a coach. So that's my biggest gripe with Kevin Stefanski since he's been in Cleveland. There's smaller things like they've literally been called for illegal procedure more times than any other team since he's been head coach. And that's the little details that just are irritating. You know, I was just lauding Mike Vrabel for having his team fully prepared. Stefanski, it's almost the opposite at times. But we can't deny he's maximized at points what talent they did have with 2 playoff runs, which in Cleveland, that's ungodly unto itself. I just don't think at this juncture, considering everything that's gone down, that they can move forward with the brain trust as it currently sits. And now, mind you, Cleveland very, very quietly moved on from Paul DePodesta, who was hired to be the big brain for that entire organization. All of a sudden, he pops up now running the Colorado Rockies.
Good pull.
So are they going to eventually move off from Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski? I think it's time because that team has been atrocious since they lost to the Houston Texans in the postseason 2 seasons ago.
That's good stuff there, Brent. Last one here for me, and I don't know, I'll let DB do his own thing. But if we're parsing through the NFC West right now, I asked you about the 49ers earlier. Haven't talked about the Seahawks yet. We only mentioned the Rams kind of in passing with their loss to the Panthers. If you're parsing through the NFC West, who do you like in that division the most, and who do you trust the most if it's a different team?
Oh, it's still the Rams, even with this past loss. You're not going to have Stafford turn the ball over 3 times on a regular basis. It's just not going to happen. Furthermore, you can also throw the whole West Coast team going to the East Coast at a 1:00 game, which is never favorable to that West Coast team. And they still barely lost. In fact, they were in a position to potentially win. So I think the Rams ultimately are still the best team in football. Are they dominant? No. Are they a team that can be upset? Clearly. But at the same time, when you have Stafford playing the way he's played for the majority of the season, he is the MVP, and that team has talent everywhere. So I'm still leaning towards the Rams, although the Seahawks are doing well. They just need Darnold to get back on track. He didn't have to do much yesterday.
All right, I'm getting you out on this because I get a 2-1. And that's when it gets interesting. Who's closest to their record again? To the good or to the bad? The Seahawks at 9-3, or now the all of a sudden coaching questions about his aggressiveness, Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions at 7-5. Who's more like their record today?
I will say the Detroit Lions, because everything that I would say, and the reason why is when you live on that edge, as they do, and I love the aggressive play calling. I do. I absolutely love it. The players love it. I think you should play to win at all times. Mm-hmm. But when you're living on that edge at all times, eventually you're going to fall off that cliff, and they have this year. And because they haven't executed in those high leverage situations, hence why they have 3 more losses this year than they did all of last season. But don't forget, 2 brand new coordinators. You've also got Dan Cable taking over play calling duties mid-season. They're still feeling out who they are. The talent's there. The team's basically the same, but they are different in how their approach is and how things are being executed on the field. So that's why, to me, they're more representative of that worst record this year than what we expected.
And it's interesting because the Seahawks are 5-1 on the road, Brent. They won on the road at Pittsburgh, on the road at the Cardinals, on the road at Jacksonville, on the road at Washington, and on the road at Tennessee. That smells like fool's gold. But it's winning on the road. But it is the NFL, right? Like, it's brutal to play on the road.
Yeah, and what did I say earlier? They do things that travel, right? And literally, in this conversation, they play defense and they run the football.
Well, that defense is silly aggressive. Woo.
Yeah, I love it. And when Sam Darnold is playing really well, they are very, very difficult to beat. He hasn't as of late, but when they are clicking, that team is as good as anyone in the rest of the league.
Fantastic.
That's Brent Sobleski. He's an NFL analyst for Bleacher Report. Brent, appreciate the time. As always, great stuff.
Thank you, gentlemen. Happy belated Thanksgiving, by the way.
Hey, thanks, B.
Thank you, sir. You as well. That is Brent Sobleski. Man.
There's a lot, man.
I don't know. In there.
Do the Chiefs strike you as Super Bowl caliber?
So let me just give you this real
quick.
There's
a lot. That's just the first one, because I don't know if I agree or disagree. I was just surprised that he said their ceiling is Super Bowl win.
So let me give you this.
What else do they have to accomplish? I mean, a
no.
comeback.
Like, what are they capable of?
But I mean, that's something that they haven't accomplished yet. A comeback from a
their division has owned them.
Yeah,
like how are they going to jump?
They're probably not.
Denver and the Chargers.
So I think that's his point, though. I think on his best day, he sees them as a team that can beat 3 playoff teams in a row. He doesn't see them as a team that probably is going to get there. But I will say this, and I know this is a flawed metric, so take it for what it is.
Well, why are you going to give it to me?
Because I do think there is something to take from it.
Okay.
It's not a be-all, end-all. It's kind of like plus minus.
Well, don't set me up.
Let
me go from scratch.
Their point differential would not only lead their own division, but would lead 4 divisions in football.
Which is crazy because I think they're pretty good defensively.
So, like, that, when I look at that, because, I mean.
What is it?
Plus 73. Huh. Which is pretty good. It's the best in their own division.
To be 6-6, it's sensational.
It's way good to be 6-6. There are 2 entire divisions in football that do not have a positive
I believe you.
Point differential. Can you guess who they are?
The 2 divisions that don't?
That no one in the division has a positive point differential.
AFC North.
That's correct.
I'm tempted to say the AFC South. Do I overthink this? No, because the Colts. So the AFC North and doesn't have a positive point differential.
There's only 2. They're actually the only 2 that have more than 2 teams without a positive point differential. Everybody else has at least 2.
I like these. I'm going to go. This is dumb. The NFC East.
It is the NFC South.
I knew it was a crapshoot, to be smart.
Tampa Bay is -22. Carolina's -50. Atlanta's -33. And, of course, New Orleans is -113.
No, I love McDonald almost as much as I love O'Connell.
Yeah.
They're about the same.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
You know I'm a Kevin O'Connell.
Mm-hmm.
Did you listen to the road wins? Should I just be like, oh, who cares? It's the NFL. Because they're bad road wins.
I mean, I don't know what to do with it, if I'm being honest. I don't know what, because I think it's hard.
They're 9-3.
It's hard to win on the road. I don't know what to do with bad road wins.
Dude, Arizona, like they laid it on the line yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, they did.
And that was on the road.
So
imagine going to their place.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they hammered them at home, the Cardinals. I don't know.
I mean, you probably flush Tennessee.
Yeah. I mean, what do you do with Tennessee? I mean,
is Tennessee the worst team in the league, though?
I mean, they got the worst record in the league.
Did you not watch New Orleans?
I think New Orleans. So I don't know, man. Vegas is pretty damn bad, too.
Did you? Okay. Did I send this to you?
Have you heard some of the stuff about Chip Kelly?
Oh, yeah. So there's cares, and then there's some cares, and there's zero cares. Can he be negative in cares given?
Yeah, there's.
Chip Kelly is a menace.
So here's my question.
He doesn't give a what.
Here's my question. Why?
So you
Like,
remember the stuff when he left UCLA, right?
Yeah.
Just in shambles.
Which I totally understand that.
Wouldn't talk to, don't like. I don't know.
What I took from the UCLA thing was, hey, I don't like being a head football coach in this climate anymore. Let me just go call plays.
Yeah.
And that sort of made sense with his personality, right? Or what we think his personality is.
Yeah.
This doesn't make sense because all he had to do was call plays. It seemed like he wanted to get to the NFL so we could go call plays in the NFL and not work as much as you have to in college. And I just sit there and I go, so what was the problem, Chip?
I am shocked that the Raiders are this bad.
Hey, there's 3 teams that are 2-10, so they're not the worst, but they might be the worst.
But don't the Jets look better
Well,
than
the Jets
Raiders?
have 3 now.
They're 3.
But they look better than the Raiders.
They do. Yeah, they look functional.
With Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, they look functional.
The Raiders might be the worst of the 2-10.
Giants without the Dart and Scadaboo injuries look better.
You heard Dable getting mentioned for college jobs?
Yeah, Penn State.
I told you.
So there was a rumor.
You told me, man.
No, so there was a rumor early on in this process with Penn State that one of their boosters was like a Dable guy.
Penn State didn't get their guy. I'm just telling you.
Who was Penn State's guy?
I don't know. They didn't get their guy.
It can't have, right? Like the announcement would have been made by now. They were open.
I'm talking about early. I think.
I'm just saying, if they had gotten their guy early, it would have been announced by now.
Yeah.
Right? Like nobody. We saw this with Nebraska.
Well, and now they're in trouble.
Yeah, they're in a lot of trouble
because
unless DeBoer decides to do them a miracle, which I don't think is happening. Right? That rumor's out there, but I don't buy it. Dable's probably the best they can do.
I think, and another guy that I think threw them a curveball.
Who?
Was Chesney.
Oh, really?
JMU. Oh, yeah.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. I do, actually.
How do you have an opening for that long and not have like 3 contingency plans?
I mean, I think I know, but I mean, I let the process play out.
I mean, at this point, it seems like they're scrambling. There's no way they wanted to be this late. Like Florida hired their coach, LSU hired their coach, Ole Miss hired a coach the same day.
Yeah.
Which, however you feel about that, like Arkansas already hired a coach. Like the major jobs have already started to shift. If you're Penn State, you can't have wanted to be in this position. Like this did not go according to plan. This feels like Nebraska in 2003.
Yeah.
Like sending private jets to try and get Houston Nutt to come on the plane.
So, I think part of it is.
No pun intended.
I think part of it is they miss they misevaluated how good that job is.
The interest?
Yep.
Yeah. That's why I thought Florida going after Summerall was smart.
And number two, when people do their homework, whether you believe what happened with Urban Meyer and the NIL stuff, like it's apparently his answers to, like, I don't know. Whatever happened with Penn State and Urban happened. But I'm just telling you, having seen this for the second time now, I can't imagine what it would be like to recruit to that place. And this is coming from a guy that's like not the excuse maker, right?
Just in terms of like getting there and being there.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it
sucks.
It's not good.
Right? Like, sucks.
It's not good.
Right?
I admire, so like I have a greater appreciation for what they were able
for
to
James Franklin.
It's incredible. Ravi, it looks like it has not been out of the time machine. It looks like the whole place looks like 1960s. It's in the middle of an ag belt at the foot of the mountains. It's incredible.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get it. I haven't been there, but I get what you mean. It doesn't seem like a super desirable place to play. And it kind of goes to what I've been saying this whole time. James Franklin was way better than they gave him credit for.
That fervor, that fan, they should be they should be applauded. It's a tough place. Tough place.
They also should probably be chastised a little bit for running James Franklin out of town.
So, yes and no.
Okay. You're still on the James Franklin said was part of the equation here. Okay. But why was he part of the equation?
Because I think he felt underappreciated.
No, that's what I mean, though. Where does the underappreciation come from?
Yeah.
You were in the national semifinal last year. Well, I get this year didn't go the way you wanted it to go. I get that.
It's a tough place.
This is a harder job than you think it is.
It's a hard job.
Florida is a harder job than you think it is.
It's a super hard job.
Penn State's a hard job. Yeah. Like, you want to talk about...
I agree with you.
You want to talk about historical outliers for their success?
I agree with you.
I understand Pennsylvania has more talent in...
They used to. It seems like a lot of people moved, aren't they? They're all in the Bible Belt now.
Seems like it's dried up a little bit, but...
And Ohio State is
eating just eats everything up around there, right?
I mean, Michigan's had their success.
But
although
historically, Pennsylvania has dramatically more football talent than Nebraska does. But in terms of historical outliers for what the program has been and what it should be based on all of the qualifications we put and criteria we put on programs, Penn State's not far from Nebraska in being a historical outlier.
Tough job, man.
That's a really hard job. And James Franklin was doing a really good job.
Like restaurants and like social activity and drive to the stadium. You know, we went to both hotels on opposite ends of State College. So, I mean, I drove through that place. Did I send you pictures from outside my hotel?
Can I ask a question? I'm not sure if you're like picking the 60s for a certain reason or not. Is there like there's a certain demographic of people that would want to play in the 60s less than others, right? Is that part of what you're talking about or no?
No, that's a little deep.
Okay, I didn't know if that's what you were doing with the 60s specifically.
It just looks like 60s.
It's just like Slug is like stuck in time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the thing about the architecture, the homes. When we dropped the players off towards their hotel, away from downtown, all that area was kind of newly developed, where you saw homes with like more than 7 windows and no curtains, right? Like a little more contemporary. But it's kind of off the beaten path.
Yeah, it's like not on campus or near campus.
I'm telling you get off the plane and it smells like, I mean, Les would have a field day. Vogler. It's tough.
And honestly, I'm gonna be honest.
I told you guys I think Florida's a tough job.
I do too. I've said this the whole time. This is why every time, and we gotta talk to B about this on Thursday. the whole time when they're like, oh, yeah, we think we can get Kiffin, I was like, why would Kiffin take that job? That's a harder job than Ole Miss, I think.
Those guys are playing. Those guys are in the playoffs.
Ole Miss, yeah. Well, I'm just saying, I get it's a 4 versus a 12, but if you're leaving Florida State out for a quarterback, you're going to tell me Ole Miss gets in with their entire offensive staff gone? They sort of set that precedent.
You believe the reports that who's on the plane is gone and who's not is?
I do, yeah.
It sounds very
Lane-esque.
Sounds Saban-esque.
Well, sure. But I think he learned a few things from his mentor.
Huh.
I'm just saying, I am not giving that a given that they are in.
Once my man got his wife back and his daughters, all bets were off. This dude's going to do what he wants to do. Which is, I don't knock the hustle.
I don't either. I don't necessarily blame Kiffin in this situation. The optics of it are terrible, but there was no way. Like, if you're going to take another job, there's no way around that. Like, if you're going to take another job, it's not going to look good.
So let me ask you one more thing.
Yeah.
You think Chesney leaves JMU?
I don't know. Because here's the other thing that's sort of on the table here.
You think he's in the bag wherever he's going to go and he's just waiting because they're the group of 5?
I was going to say, he's got a playoff thing he's waiting on too. Potentially.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So,
damn, I just put 2 and 2 together. BP, are you the same Ben that called, or do I know more than Ben? His voice is familiar because I used to talk to BP all the time. The 3 down versus 4 down. Yeah. That's actually a good call.
Yeah. I don't know what he does. But it seems like JMU's, like, if you're going to be in the group of 5, it's not a terrible place to be. And what job is left that he wants?
Oh, it is the same BP. I knew he was smart. See, you give me stay smart. You give me smart vibes. You've given me smart vibes over all these years. You were throwing me with your last little bit of comments in the stream.
No, I had to. That was on me. I
told you he was bright, though.
He was answering somebody else's question. He wasn't commenting on what we said.
I rock with him.
That was on me. I looked at the chat at the wrong time.
I'm not surprised.
So that I apologize, Ben. That one was on me. No, listen. If I'm wrong, I eat it. You know that.
I was gonna say, like,
if I win, I dance. If I lose, I eat it. That's how it works.
Listen, I've been DMing with him for years.
But what job's open that Chesney wants? Like, what's out there?
It's tough.
Because the best thing you can do, if you're one of those group of 5 guys that can win at a super high level, is stay there until like a good job opens up.
I don't know. I asked you a couple weeks ago. You looked at me like I was crazy.
About what?
What's a peace of mind worth?
I didn't look like you were like I was crazy. I agreed with you. Because I agree that there is a number on it. And
that's fine.
Maybe Lane Kiffin gave that number. Maybe he's just so zen. He's got peace of mind wherever he goes. I don't know. He certainly is a different person than he was probably a decade ago.
I mean, Chesney may be, and I get it. I can't read El Grafo. Like, I get it because early on, I know he was in the hunt
at Penn State,
but then I don't know what to believe.
So let's say
I don't know what to believe.
So it sounds like what El Grafo is saying is Chesney is not Penn State's first choice.
Or their second.
But he would go there. So he's waiting on their decision.
God, would he?
That's what it sounds like El Grafo's saying.
No, I know. Like, that's out there.
So is that a good hire for Penn State? If that's where they end up?
He's a good coach. You just have to go there.
Here's the thing, though.
Because, some people can supersede the environment. But those people are just very few and far between. Especially now where everybody can get some compensation for their services.
Yeah, it levels the
because
playing
then it
field a
comes
little
down
bit.
to all things being equal.
So you know what's funny?
Do you know what
I do? I actually agree with you there because so many people talk to us about like, well, who's got the bag and who's got this and who can pay the most and whatever. I actually think the money matters less now than ever.
It should.
Because if you're looking at a certain level of program.
What'd you guys ask me yesterday when I asked you if Lane left for the bag?
I told you today, I don't think he did. I think he left for the best job in college football. I think he left for the place where expectations and ability to meet them is the closest. I don't think there's a place in college football. Maybe Bama. Maybe Bama, but I don't know how to separate Saban from what that job is. Right? So I don't know what to do with Bama. I know at LSU, lots of guys have won, like multiple guys have won national titles there. I can separate Saban from Miles, from Orgeron, and know that it doesn't have to be a Saban thing to win a national title there. I can't do that with Alabama yet. I can't do that with Georgia yet. That's only been a Kirby Smart thing.
No, El Grafo. No, I understand. Listen, hear my heart, babe. Like, I understand the dynamics. I understand why Chesney's alluring. I like the North. Like, trust me, I've done my homework there. What I'm saying is he familiar with what goes into it? I'm sure.
Yeah.
But JMU is a fantastic job right now.
And is his skill set match what it takes to –
That's the thing.
Because familiarity and skill set aren't necessarily the same thing.
That's the thing.
Right?
So that's what I'm not discounting. I'm process. You know what I like? Sometimes I just think out loud.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I run the risk of sounding like a
Sure.
ding-dong. I mean, I tried that last week and it didn't go over well.
Taylor says they think Ohio State's on a similar level as LSU for what I'm talking about. I would mostly agree. I do think the Michigan of it all sort of throws a wrench in it because they care so much about that game specifically that can get you in hot water even if you're really, really good the rest of the time. LSU doesn't seem to have that team. Like Alabama has Auburn. Georgia, who's Georgia's? Does Georgia have? Georgia doesn't.
I mean, Florida, they've got
Tennessee,
Georgia has their
sort
own
of.
deal,
They have a
yeah.
couple, but it's not like the one team, right? Like, if you lose,
I did say hear my heart, babe. That's just how I talk. I talk to kids like that too. Man.
like,
I'm sorry.
if you lose to Michigan, that Ohio State thing can get away from you in a hurry, and we almost
that just means I care, Travis. That just means I'm trying to like. I want you to talk to me.
We almost saw it with Ryan Day. Now, we also saw Ryan Day win a national title, so I can separate Urban Meyer from Jim Tressel from Ryan Day, so he's close in that regard. But I do think having that one game that people in your fan base want you to win almost more than winning a national title is super dangerous. LSU doesn't have that, as far as I'm aware. I could be wrong if somebody from LSU is listening and wants to. Eric asks, is Joe Brady a realistic option?
I think Brady's got to be on the table. Brady keeps getting opportunities, but I'm trying to see Brady outside of Burrow.
I was gonna say, when has he really stunned you when he didn't have
I'm
Joe
just
Burrow
trying
as
to.
his
So I mean, listen. I'm not knocking the hustle. I got to.
I mean, listen. If you're willing to question the Belichick Brady thing, you have to be willing to question Brady versus.
I just know
Joe
Belichick
Brady versus Burrow.
I just know Belichick outside of Brady hasn't been very good.
That's what I mean.
So,
and you could make the argument for Joe Brady not being,
but nobody says
spectacular outside of Joe Burrow.
Like Belichick gets a lot of, whether it's the coaching tree or the philosophy or.
So you know what I think part of it is?
I mean, Mayo wasn't very good.
He was not. No, Josh McDaniels is a bad head coach.
So
apparently, very good assistant, but bad head coach. Right? Romeo Crennel, bad head coach. Charlie Weiss was college, but not a good head coach. A lot of bad head coaches from that tree.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that I would. Do you think Belichick gets more credit because of what Brady looked like early in his career?
You talking about just managing it?
As like not being like, obviously Brady turned into a different guy.
I don't know, man. Like, does Arians get credit for not letting Roethlisberger go?
I don't
know. I'm just telling you, the longer I spend at State College, the more appreciation I have for that job.
For James Franklin?
Just
or for what?
Anybody that wins there.
Yeah.
I mean, not named Paterno because, I mean, he was the institution. So
kind of still is.
Anybody like,
I
look at O'Brien a little bit differently. I certainly look at James Franklin a little differently. Now, I'm going to be honest. What Clark Lee has done at Vandy has changed the way that I look at Franklin, but not by a ton because I used to be really hard on James Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
But this was before, so I have to shift my thought process with NIL and like freedom of movement.
Okay.
Franklin wasn't benefiting from that. He won in spite of not being able to do it. So, but still, I gotta look at Clark Lee and be like, number one, I have a good idea of who he is just from visiting there twice.
Yeah, obviously.
I mean,
you've got
Coach
the connections
Jackson
there.
was there. Like, I'm familiar. Dom is
so
there.
You got a Rezak there, yeah.
So, but it's still relative to what everybody else is doing in the SEC. Like, they came back to beat the brakes off of Tennessee, and it didn't matter.
Yeah. We're also Clark Lee at Vanderbilt, 2-10, 5-7, 2-10, 7-6, and then this year was the breakthrough, 10-2.
And listen, he was in trouble. Revamp the staff.
I mean, after
let guys go. Like, I'm telling you, like, I know the whole process.
He had 9 wins in the first 3 years.
Yeah.
Like that's we're in bad shape.
And all of a sudden, he gets Pavia.
We're in Pat Fitzgerald territory there.
So I don't know, man. I hate to. Some coaches, I guess there's a handful of coaches where quarterback play doesn't matter. There are a lot of coaches that are uniquely connected to quarterback play.
Yeah, I mean, almost all of them. Almost anybody that we care about at a high level. Like, who is more NFL is? I feel like this is more true in the NFL because college you tend to have a longer time period.
I don't know. I'll give you one based on what your question is.
Do you know what the question is yet?
Ed Ogeron, LSU, Joe Burrow.
No.
Does it fit the answer to your question?
No.
Okay.
Opposite question. Who's the guy that you don't immediately think of one quarterback? So the opposite of the Ed Ogeron question.
Andy Reid. But yeah, NFL.
NFL's.
I don't associate Saban with quarterbacks.
So college, like I said, college is
there's probably a handful.
College is a little easier, I think, because if you're good, you get a longer time period, and your quarterbacks are shorter stints, right? In the NFL, it's almost no one outside of Andy Reid.
Yeah, which brings me kind of back to Lincoln. Were you surprised that people were so down on Lateef after Friday, given how he's pretty beat up?
Yeah, I mean,
I admire. Again,
did I hear he had a torn hamstring? Is that a thing that's out there?
It's not good.
I
don't know if it's.
He's got a pretty serious leg injury. Like, I don't know what it is.
And I'm worried about his ribs.
Oh yeah, he got hammered a couple times.
So like, I wasn't not in a hurry to judge Lateef, and he threw about 4 or 5 balls to his guys.
Have to be caught.
Where if they make, I was a little taken aback at people being down on Lateef.
I didn't have a problem with Lateef.
It didn't seem to make sense.
I didn't have a problem with Lateef. The other thing I look at is like, hey, this is a true freshman. He probably shouldn't have to be playing right now.
And do you schematically what Iowa does defensively? Like, you're not going to get a whole lot. You're going to have to earn a ton.
Yeah, and I thought he gave his guys opportunities to earn it, and they just didn't do it, which is fine. Like, it is what it is. But I didn't have a problem with the way Lateef played at all. Like, the numbers, like if you're a box score watch, you're going to look at 9 for 24 and be like, ooh.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, 9 for 24 for like
I didn't
60.
pay any. I'm just watching him try to play.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with
it. Would be easy for a guy in 20-degree weather with it snowing and
to be like, "Nah, I'm good, homie."
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah,
but he didn't give me. I mean, I can hear Jess. Hey, Lateef's in the tent. Lateef's in the tent. It seemed like she said that like 9 times.
My biggest issue was, should he be out there?
Oh, gotcha. The other way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like at some point, like if he's got a ribs thing, if he's got a hamstring thing, like we saw him limping on the.
I'm definitely not throwing stones in the glass house. I've went with guys' judgment and did not protect them from themselves. So, in the heat of the moment, which is why I was super appreciative that Coach Rule didn't put Dylan back in the game this year. But I wanted him to absolutely play last year. Even though I didn't think he felt good, because I wanted him to feel like Dylan to feel like what it felt like to have to do hard things,
to operate when you're not 100%.
Yeah, like I thought that was part of him having to go through that.
Sure,
he'd gone through that the year before, which is why I was glad he didn't put him back in the game.
And it seemed like obviously the injury was
I
more
think
serious.
Dylan was lobbying to play.
Yeah, I mean you could see it on the sideline, like he was, like you could see him going up to Coach Rule, and you could see him trying to work through it. So I don't have a problem with that. I did wonder, like, hey, it doesn't look like Lateef is Like, this doesn't look great. Like, maybe he shouldn't be out there. That was my only beef with that at all. I didn't have a problem with how he played.
You know how many penalties Nebraska had against Iowa?
5.
Do you know how many Iowa had?
4.
Who outrushed to Nebraska or Iowa?
Nebraska had more yards rushing.
Who had the better game? Which of the 21s had the better game?
Emmett.
If I told you Nebraska was going to go 4 out of 5 in the red zone.
You mean just getting points in general?
4 out of 5. If I just said 4 out of 5.
I'd probably take it, but I'd assume more were touchdowns.
It's a strange game.
Super strange game. Super strange game.
I mean, Emmett went 29 for 217, and they lost by 24.
Yeah, not even close. Like, you were going to have, like, if you told me he was going for 200, I'm just saying, all right, W, done.
If you would have told me that Ja'Cory Barning was going to fumble twice on those returns.
Yeah.
But then again, I look at it, and I don't even know how we got back on Iowa. So I had to go back and watch, and I finally asked. I'm like, hey, this return to Wetchin, the 51-yarder, like, what happened? But then I got the watch the film. It's okay, I watched it.
So what'd you see?
I got the, hey, watch the film. So I went back and watched it. I had to go back 2 games. It was the one tendency breaker where Iowa had a return that went away from their big guys on the return. He just fielded a flutter and got to where that's a Herculean individual. Meanwhile, I'm mad that they kicked it to him.
Yes.
Totally broke tendency. First time they went away from the bigs that I had seen. So I was like, I guess that's why you got to watch film and not make sweeping judgments.
I also would prefer you just not kick it to him. If I'm being honest, like, I get it's a tendency breaker. Just like, don't let him touch the ball. You know what I mean?
It wasn't supposed to go down like that.
Like, don't let him touch the ball.
I mean, it's understandable.
It is more understandable. I get it. Like,
did you not want Nebraska to throw the ball out of the fake punt? Did you see how Iowa was getting lined up?
Yeah.
And at some point, you're like, ooh, there's a fake in the bag.
Yep.
Might have been. I don't know. Never got to it, but.
Never got to it. I also.
They were always a guy short.
Yeah. I had
you just wanted Arch to kick it better.
I just don't let Wetchin. Don't let Weegan, whatever.
Weegan.
Sorry, I know somebody who has.
Did I say Wetchin? Weegan. I had to say it 15 times at the Jet Awards.
I know somebody who has an exact spelling of that last name that pronounces it Wetchin, so
it
gets in my head. I just would. I didn't want him to touch the ball all day. Like, that was just, like. I know that's probably not a realistic thing to say. I was like, hey, just kick it out of bounds. I don't care.
How did you throw for $166?
Iowa?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. The defensive backfield is pretty bad.
You gave up 181. The
last 2 games were unforgivable on the back end. Because that's the one thing that was holding this.
It made the running yards not
matter as much.
Yeah.
Not matter nearly as much. And that was my argument, right? Coming into Iowa, that was my argument. Is like, hey, these guys ran wild on them, but they held the pass in check, so it didn't matter. These other guys ran wild on them, so they held the pass in check, so they were in the ball game or they won the ball game or whatever, right? And the tendency breaker was Penn State, but I was like, okay, maybe you guys are right. Maybe they are super talented. Maybe it was just a talent thing that superseded it. Nope. Something happened.
He said no.
Something happened where it just fell apart on the back end for Nebraska.
That wasn't it.
And
nope.
We're just out. We're done, right? Like, it just the pass defense holding everything together just completely shattered the last 2 games.
I mean, we're out here, right?
No.
And now all of a sudden those run yards matter a lot. A lot.
How about how they got tempoed on that 2nd and 9?
Man, how you get tempoed by Iowa?
That's a good I mean, come on. Let's be realistic.
That's not even what they want to do, though. That's my point.
There's 2 minutes and some See, you sound like a fan now.
I am a fan. That's not even what they want to do.
But credit them too, right?
Congrats for executing. Like, way to go. That's fine. I am a hater. If you get listen to me.
It's the one time they did it.
That's my point, though. It's the one time they did it. If you get Iowa into a situation where they got to score fast, you feel great.
Hey, what gave you the inkling when they ran it on first? It was 2nd and 9, and they're like, "Oh, this is the personnel grouping. Let's go tempo.
We're cool."
And then they didn't do it again.
Like if
it got them a 50-yard or however long that run was.
If you get Iowa into a situation where they have to move the ball quickly, you feel like you won. That's the place you want them to be.
That was his longest run of the day, right? That was the 34-yarder?
Yeah. It was.
And then it's still 24-6. I don't know, man. I just at some
That's
point,
the worst part. You're still in it at that point.
They just got to get to a point where when it gets hectic, you don't get desperate. It's just this is the cost of doing business.
You think it was desperation? What was it?
I don't know.
I want to have a conversation tomorrow about, because we talked about this with Sam and we didn't ever get back to it, and that's fine. There's a lot going on. We've got all week. I want to get to a conversation tomorrow about, because he seemed to not want to, well, that guy's spinning out a little bit. He seemed to not want to
put the legacy to the test.
Yeah, you getting after it?
I ain't going nowhere.
He seemed to not want to question the toughness of the guys.
Wait, who?
Sam.
Okay.
And I would like to ask you some questions about physical toughness versus mental toughness.
Oh, we call that a tease?
Because
you realize I'm neither.
I don't need you to be either. You're not strapping it up anymore.
I am emotionally tough, though. That's for sure.
Like, I think there's a difference, and I think I can lay out an argument that they're one but not the other, based on what we've talked about. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I can't. Maybe
so I should come back tomorrow?
If you want to.
All right.
Otherwise, we'll have to have this conversation with Shane.
Don't blame Shane. Shane, are you tough?
Nah, I'm mentally soft.
Kind of.
Not physically, though.
Physically, dude, I'm a man.
He's a bulldog.
I'm 50.
Don't forget, you can give our friends over at Centris Federal Credit Union a visit. In just 5 minutes, you can unlock personalized tools, resources, and content for your financial journey completely free. It's called their Education Center. It's called Enrich. When you sign up, you can take financial wellness checkup and receive content recommendations based on your goals. It's all at Centris, FCU.enrich.org, federally insured by NCUA. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We will be back tomorrow with Hurrdat Sports Live.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.